6, partly to mostly cloudy tonight, low down to 19. A cold day tomorrow with intervals of clouds and sun and a high of 31. Thursday, clouds and some sunshine and not quite so cold in the afternoon, a high 42. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Right now, it's 33 degrees and cloudy. I'm Debbie Monterey, KMOX News.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, hit it.
Chris Ranji, Amy Marks Kors, The Chris and Amy Show.
You know who it is.
Also, if you didn't know, this is called The Show.
On 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Well, hello. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Good morning.
Good morning to everyone out there. Look at all the snow. When we get snow, it usually doesn't stick around this long. But look at us.
Just real quick before we get to the important stuff of the day. At any point this morning, I know you've been up since 4 a.m. Were there flurries? Was it snowing a little bit? Because my weather app, when I looked at it, I didn't look outside. I didn't bother to look. When I first woke up, it had the little snowflakes coming down as if it was snowing.
I think there's a chance for that today.
Okay.
But it was not this morning from 4:45 to 6:45.
Okay. Well, that's all I need to know. These weather apps, you can't trust them. That's why you got to listen to us and AccuWeather when we have our people on, like Joe Lundberg. 314-436-7900. Join us by calling and texting. Odyssey app. That's where you can leave voice messages. Super easy and free to do so. And you can listen to the station live. Cardinals baseball will be happening on the Odyssey app, and that is getting started very, very soon. Spring training just around the corner, as they say. And we're streaming live. If you want to look at us on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, we are at Chris Amy KMOX.
Time now for the top of the order. The top 3 stories everyone will be talking about.
With about a week and a half before pitchers and catchers will have their first full workout in spring training, the Cardinals did make a trade, sending Brendan Donovan to the Seattle Mariners, part of a 3-way deal. The Rays involved as well.
And you may have heard the news if you were listening to TIAM this morning, but Energizer Park will host soccer games for the 2028 Olympic Soccer Tournament, which I believe I heard Debbie Monterey say will be the first time since 1904 we've held actual Olympic events, not just trials, but Olympic events.
And the Blues, I guess they blew it last night?
Well, it's not, that should not be up here.
Well, it's there.
It didn't.
But more importantly, the Billikens tonight. They are trying for their 22nd win of the season. They're back on the road. They take on Davidson. That is the former home of Stephen Curry.
No way.
Basketball Hall of Famer. That's
Davidson.
Right. Yes, so it did happen. The Gas House Gang, I know we've exhausted this topic.
You've exhausted me, I can tell you that.
With Brendan Donovan talk?
No, just in general.
Because all off-season, that's been the guy, really, that everybody was talking about as being the number one trade possibility for the Cardinals, or the guy that I think most people were looking to acquire, right? And it finally happened. Yeah. And what's funny is I think we had the conversation yesterday with Tom Ackerman that, hey, maybe they end up hanging on to him if they can't find a deal that they like, and they go into the regular season and he's here, and then maybe they make a deal in the middle of the year at the All-Star break, but he's gone. They found a contract, or they found a place for him to go. He is off to the Seattle Mariners. The Cardinals getting a couple of prospects in return. In fact, they got 3 prospects, and they got 2 compensatory draft picks. So they made a haul in that regard that they're able to get those draft picks. They got a switch pitcher, Amy. He's a switch pitcher.
So I heard that
means
the ambidextrous pitcher who can pitch with his left hand arm and his right arm.
That is right. He is a switch pitcher. Gerangelo Saintja is his name.
That's unbelievable. But I think,
and he's from the Netherlands.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Can you think of another Dutch?
Oh, I'm sure I can,
player?
But not right now.
Well, at any rate, I did hear Ackerman talking about that. Is he leaning into his right arm, though?
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. Yeah.
Can you imagine? Like, I made it to the major leagues pitching right-handed, but I also made it pitching left-handed.
Yeah, there are a couple of guys like that.
That was the famous headline, the amphibious pitcher.
That's
when there was an
amphibious.
editorial mistake.
That's right. And yes, we know it's not amphibious, so don't start with us. But yeah, so I think the bottom line when it comes to the trade is you don't really know what these guys are going to turn into. You definitely don't know what the draft picks will turn into because, well, they haven't even been drafted yet. They're not in the organization. You don't know who they're going to select. The rest of the guys are prospects, good prospects from what we understand, but you won't know for a while how good they are. But I think it just kind of, and we knew this was the direction the Cardinals were going for a long time. They've got a new president of baseball operations. They are trying something different. They knew they had to rebuild their organization because, or build, if you ask, build with the second.
It's just building.
Yeah.
There's no re in front of it.
There's no re. But they were trying to build up the organization because it had been allowed to slip a bit. And, you know, it's just not going to be a quick fix. And it sucks because Donovan is a very good baseball player. He's the kind of guy that if your team is good, he's a fantastic piece as a part of your team. And that's what the Mariners, they're a pretty good team, and he's going to help that lineup a bit. But it was kind of like him being the focal point of the lineup for the Cardinals in a sense. So he just didn't, it wasn't going to work here.
So, but again, as you mentioned, it's funny because there's a Sports Illustrated report that kind of focuses on the Kansas City Royals, on how Donovan would have been great for them, but the Royals didn't work for St. Louis.
Yeah.
What they had to offer. And he
would have been great for the Yankees.
Yeah.
He'd been great for the Mets. I mean, he for a good team, he's a really nice fit. He's like additional piece, you know, kind of a fan favorite, and he contributes. He's an impact right away.
But they called what the Cardinals got in return, in your words, an absolute haul as well. So, I mean, this was a good trade, a good move. When you're looking at the Mariners, and obviously they were, atop the American League West, are they continuing to make more moves like this is their big push? Or is this just, we're adding to our team? Or are they doing we're going to go now while the window's open?
This is a window team. I think they're trying to. Donovan's 28 years old. And I think there was this admission from the Cardinals. They understood. Well, he's 29 now. I think he just turned 29 not too long ago. But he just finished his 28th season. I think we know the Cardinals know where they are in their history. We know they know that this is not a division-winning team. It's certainly not going to be picked to win the division. I suppose anything can happen in baseball, but we know what they're going to be, right? He's getting to that age where if he's not going to be a contributor for a winning team, he doesn't really, it's not a good fit for the Cardinals any longer. And it's weird to say that because a guy like Donovan is a good fit pretty much everywhere, but he needs to be on a contender, and the Cardinals are not a contender, which is the bottom line sad part of this, is that the Cardinals right now are not a contender, and it's kind of starting to be a while since they've been one.
Yes. It's been a while, and Tom Ackerman this morning, he was responding to some texts at 314-436-7900 that said, okay, well, with the Cardinals going on MLB broadcasts now, will KMOX no longer be the voice of the Cardinals? He's like, no, absolutely not. We've got the Cardinals on KMOX.
Oh, yeah, right.
KMOX forever and ever and forever and a day. And he said, we will be the voice of the Cardinals for every single game in the regular season. He said, we'll be the voice of the Cardinals for spring training games. We're the voice of the Cardinals. And he said, and when that time comes, we'll be the voice of the Cardinals through their postseason run. And I wanted to know, when that time comes, it was a phrase like that, like, whenever it happens. If you are the biggest homer, right? Let's say you're just a homer, which I know, you guys are very objective, do a great job on the Gas House Gang, but you're trying to appease me because I want I want hope. What's the soonest you see them in the playoffs? Could they be in the playoffs next year? Are you thinking, no, this is kind of a few years?
I mean, if some of these guys, here's the thing, it's J.J. Weatherholt's spot is not guaranteed on the team. And for people who don't know, that is one of the Cardinals. It's the Cardinals' best prospect right now. A lot of excitement about him, getting him up to the big leagues. There's a great likelihood he will be on the team this year. Whether it's at the start of the season or not, that's not been determined yet. They're going to make him prove it. But I would not be surprised if he breaks camp with them. It's really going to come down to how guys like him progress and Jordan Walker, if he takes a leap. And, there are just a lot of ifs here. And what this young group of starting pitching they have in the minor leagues, when they finally make their way to the big leagues, it'll all depend on how quickly they all develop. I think you're looking at a couple of seasons, at least, probably. I hate to say that, but they're not going to be, I would doubt they're competitive this year. They might be fun to watch with some young talent, but I don't think they win the division. I don't think they win a wild card. I don't know if that happens for them next year. It could. I think you're probably looking at the year after that where it really needs to start happening. Yeah. By the way, but Cardinals baseball. You never know.
You never know.
And so, as Amy mentioned, Cardinals baseball is here again. We're here for a while.
Always and forever, baby. The voice of the Cardinals.
The first spring game broadcast, if you want to listen to it, will be on the 21st of this month.
Wow.
So that is a Saturday.
That is going to be fun. I will say, I remember last year, the first spring training game, I left the grocery store and I had KMOX on, and I could hear Tom Ackerman and, talking about the baseball game, and you could hear the background noise, and I thought, oh my gosh, it might be the best feeling ever when you're in the doldrums of February.
Oh, yeah.
Ugh.
You just hear baseball on the radio. Sounds great. I love it. Guys, something needs to be done about the Super Bowl. And I'm not talking about the halftime show.
I'm ready for the halftime show.
We'll talk about it when we come back, and what that thing is, what needs to happen with the Super Bowl, we'll discuss with our question of the week when we come back on KMOX.
Why do the national tax resolution firms need the tiny fine print at the bottom of all their TV ads? Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. You don't hear fast-talking disclaimers in our ads because the claims we make are 100% transparent. The Lance Drury Law Firm primarily focuses on one thing, IRS problems, and we're regulated by the Bar Association, and we have a AAA rating with the Better Business Bureau. IRS issues are serious legal issues. The Lance Drury Law Firm has helped thousands of clients navigate the best resolution plans, and we tell you up front exactly how much it'll cost. Tax resolution law is all we do. So before you send money to some out-of-town, high-pressure salesperson, give us a call at the Lance Drury Law Firm, located right here in St. Louis. Call today to schedule your free consultation with me, 314-260-6120, or visit LanceDruryLaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
I'm Mark Solinger, producer and one of the hosts of the Moth podcast. For nearly 2 decades, The Moth has brought live storytelling to stages around the world and to millions of listeners. These are real people telling true stories from their lives. Stories about a lost family recipe, about working to free a wrongfully convicted man, about realizing you need to leave your May-December romance. Stories that will move you, surprise you, make you laugh. Stories you can't forget. Join us. Follow and listen to The Moth wherever you get your podcasts.
Attention all dog owners. If you have ever listened to the radio or TV for any length of time, you've probably heard of America's #1 dog supplement, Rough Greens. Greetings, naturopathy Dr. Dennis Black, Amazon best-selling author and founder of Rough Greens here. And if your dog suffers from bad breath, itchy skin, licking paws, joint pain, or low energy, the truth is their food is probably to blame. You see, all commercial dog food is dead food. That's why I created Rough Greens. One daily scoop gives your pup the live vitamins, omega oils, probiotics, and enzymes that will bring their food back to life. Don't believe me? Let your dog try it before you buy it. I'll send you a free Jumpstart trial bag, risk-free. You just cover the shipping. Go to roughgreens.com. That's RUFFgreens.com. Use discount code NEWS. Don't wait. Give your dog the gift of vibrant health. Order now. It'll be at your house in a few days. Go to roughgreens.com. That's RUFFgreens.com. Discount code NEWS for your free Jumpstart trial bag today. Rough Green. We make any dog food better.
St. Louis has a voice.
KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
That voice has shared our stories from headline to history.
In afternoon programming for American radio. The program is called At Your Service.
Among those voices, Mike Kelly.
Kaufman at the 11. Kaufman hurdles man at the 5, fighting for the end zone. Touchdown, Missouri!
Working at KMOX is an honor and a responsibility to represent this community. It's one we take seriously. KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
Hey guys, Glover here from my friends at Universal Windows Direct. Hopefully after 25 years together, you trust me that I only represent good companies. Universal Windows Direct is great. They have a great deal for the DGS audience. Buy 2 windows, get 2 for free. 0% interest for 36 months so you can spread out your payments, same as cash. Also, $500 off your home improvement project. 314-334-2522 or visit universalwindowsdirect.com. Like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. We recently received a call from an injured person. The insurance company had offered them $11,000. We took the case over and got more than $2 million in court. Morgan & Morgan.
Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Midwest winters take a real toll on your garage door. Let my friends at Overhead Door Company of St. Louis come out and perform their 26-point tune-up on your garage door and opener. The work is guaranteed, and it's just one price for up to 3 garage doors and openers. No extra charge for evening or Saturday service. Overhead Door Company of St. Louis, since 1926, 100 years. Schedule online at overheaddoorsstlouis.com. That's overheaddoorsstlouis.com.
One city, one voice. KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
Super Bowl 60 is Sunday.
Wow.
Super Bowl Sunday is coming up. Can you believe it?
Can you believe it?
Can you believe it's February?
Can you believe it's February?
Super Bowl Sunday is happening here. So we're approaching it, and we're all very excited about it. Really, really hoping, at least from my perspective, that the Patriots don't win. I can't do another Patriots Super Bowl win. I just can't. I can't. Here's another thing I can't do anymore. Super Bowl Sunday. This is just my opinion, but I think a lot of people agree with me on this.
Is it because you engage in gluttony and you get sloshed?
Well, I mean,
Ranj.
That's none of your business.
I knew it. Remember when you were, this is not the celery party. Weren't you going to have nothing but celery last year?
Yeah. Celery and no dip. We're going to have a Super Bowl party at my house, and all I'm providing is celery.
See, that is someone who's planning ahead for having to work the next day. You think, listen, I want to overconsume, but I still need to show up early tomorrow, so we're going to have nothing but celery, no dip.
So it is, to me, just an outrageous thing that we still do, because we're giving these teams 2 weeks to get prepared for the Super Bowl after the conference championship games. That's plenty of time to get ready for a game. Plenty of time to get healthy. What's the big deal if we shorten it from 14 days to 13 days and just have the Super Bowl on a Saturday? For the love of God, why are we not doing a Super Bowl Saturday? Give people the day. It's, it becomes, you have the day off the next day. You don't have to worry about going to work. People can have their Super Bowl parties. Bars can do their Super Bowl things, and people don't have to worry about it. They can just go and enjoy it. Why do we not just do a Saturday? It's so easy. It's an easy fix.
Trying to think of what does the NFL do on Saturday, a.k.a. the day before the Super Bowl, that would generate an enormous amount of money for them?
I don't know.
There's the whole Super Bowl week, and there's Media Row, and there's interviews, and we get that, and the media gets down there a week before. But is there something that I'm missing where I don't know, whether it be just more advertising, one more day for advertising. I don't know. I don't know if it's the Super Bowl event itself, where making it a Sunday somehow generates a lot more money for the city in which the venue is located.
Here's what Roger Goodell said several years ago about it. He's the commissioner of football, and he said the reason they don't play it on Saturday is Sunday is just a much larger audience. I'm going to stop you right there, Raj. It's the Super Bowl. Everybody is going to watch it. It's the Super Bowl.
Is it? What about
if it's
other
a
events?
Saturday? You're just going to have more people watch it, and you're going to have more people do Super Bowl activities. That is such a lousy explanation. It's the Super Bowl. The NFL is already, as we've talked about a million times. You can think of the NFL, think of an individual NFL game as a TV show. Throughout the course of the year, the top 100 most viewed TV shows in any given year, something like 75 or 80 of them are NFL games. So people are going to watch the Super Bowl.
I get it.
If it's on a Saturday, you're probably getting more people to watch.
I don't know.
What's he talking
because
about?
Here's the thing. With every weekend event, Saturday is the prime day. No matter what it is, if you are having parties, you're having, I don't know, some kind of volunteer day, something with the kids and sports day, even coming home from a vacation, you usually don't come home on Saturday, you come home Sunday morning. So when you're looking at the grand scheme of the weekend, Saturday is the day where you throw everything at it. Everything happens on Saturday. Sunday is what they call like the cozy day. People kind of shut down a bit more. You're tired. You're worn out from Friday and Saturday, so you're home. So technically, television ratings do tend to be higher on Sunday because any other possible competing event or travel and so forth happens before Sunday afternoon.
Right. Until you're talking about the Shield. And when it comes to the NFL, people counter-program for that. And by that means they don't try. People will not schedule events for Saturday nights when it's Super Bowl Saturday. They just won't because they won't want to go up against it because the NFL wins all the time. You won't have those special events. You won't have other bigger TV shows or bigger events being televised on a Super Bowl Saturday. They just won't do it because they don't want to get beaten. That's why like if you ever try to on Super Bowl Sunday, if you ever try to look for any other programming anywhere, there's nothing on. There's like nothing. Nobody wants to go up against Super Bowl. Nobody wants to go up against the NFL really in the regular season. They try not to. It's such a winner. And that's why I just don't buy that argument. I think people, they'll show up. They will rearrange their plans. You'll have people saying, well, we're going to plan this charity event on Saturday. Oh, wait, actually, we're not. That's the Super Bowl. We're not going to do it then. We'll pick a different time.
Matt had an idea. Instead of having Super Bowl Monday off, why not push the Super Bowl back one more week and just have it be the day before President's Day? The President's Day is always the third Monday of the month.
Yeah. You already have a holiday there. You don't need to make a new holiday.
Well, I'd be in favor of the new holiday. We wouldn't get it off, but everybody else would.
Are they still talking about adding one more week to the season?
There you go.
They are.
Because if they do that,
so
push the Super Bowl back 1 week.
They are, but the commissioner yesterday, I think it was, said that that's not, that there haven't been any real formal discussions about it, but you're hearing team owners like Patriots owner Robert Kraft, who just a few weeks ago said that that is very much in play to add another game, take away a preseason game. So going from 17 games to 18, very, very likely. I don't know if it'll be next year.
I think it's a terrible idea. They can't stay healthy now. The season's too long.
Yeah. I mean, I'll never say no to more football, but you're probably right. It'll probably lead to more injuries.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. But the Twitter poll, go to our Twitter account at ChrisAmyKMOX, and you can vote in our Twitter poll. And the question is very simple. Should it be Super Bowl Saturday? Should it stay the way it is? Or should it be the day before a holiday, President's Day? You let us know what you think. And you can also text 314-436-7900. When we come back, did you know that it is the 200th anniversary of Jefferson Barracks? Yeah, it's pretty cool. And when we come back, we're going to talk to Jeffrey Edison, Jefferson Barracks Museum educator. Will be with us when we come back on KMOX.
Hey guys, it's Dave from The Glover Show, trying to explain The Glover Show. So when I was a younger man, I used to go to happy hour almost every night, and I loved it. And I've always thought of my show as being like happy hour. It's always interesting. It's often silly, but not always. You know, there are real things to talk about amongst friends, politics, and personal things. So that's what it is, really. It's happy hour for thousands of us every day between 1 p.m. and 5 p.m., and I hope you'll tune in and join the happy hour.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. Divorce touches all areas of your life: your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on.
If you are facing divorce, contact Cordell & Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. 600 Kelwood, St. Louis.
Now, KMOX weather from the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk.
Currently, it is 30 degrees. Pretty cloudy today. Could be some flurries this morning, as Ranj warned. Otherwise, just colder today. Pretty cloudy. Watch out for some freezing drizzle. Woof. A high of 36. Tonight, mostly cloudy and colder, a low of 19.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-390-1164. 800-390-1164. 800-390-1164.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Saline from Vicks.
Sinex Saline Nasal Spray.
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion associated with colds and year-round allergies with a gentle, ultra-fine mist that's no mess and easy to control.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it.
Enjoy life's important moments without congestion. Try Sinex Saline from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
Taxes was feeling so stuck. Sitting in traffic, squeezing into a parking spot, all to squeeze in getting tax help during your lunch break. Now Taxes is a TurboTax expert who does your taxes for you, while you go about your day getting real-time notifications about their progress and the most money back guaranteed. Now this is Taxes. Intuit TurboTax. See guarantee details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Only available with TurboTax experts. Real-time updates only in iOS mobile app.
Here in St. Louis, we take pride in supporting our health and our community. That's why more and more families are turning to Neovitin multivitamins, created by a local physician and made right here in the U.S. using the highest quality domestic and international ingredients. With formulas for men, women, and adults 50 plus, Neovitin helps keep St. Louis families energized, supported, and ready for life. Find Neovitin at your local Dierbergs, Schnucks, and online at neovitin.com. Neovitin. Trusted nutrition from St. Louis for St. Louis.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com.
Chris Ranji, Amy Marks Kors. The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
It is the bicentennial of Jefferson Barracks, and we thought it'd be a great idea to find out what is happening this year and to learn more about Jefferson Barracks, and historic place that was really started in 1826, so a couple hundred years ago. And Jeffrey Edison is the Jefferson Barracks Museum educator and is with us now here on 104.1 FM KMOX. Jeffrey, good to have you on. How you doing?
Thanks. I'm doing great. Trying to stay warm and keeping the park clean of all of the snow.
Oh yeah.
What does that involve?
Yeah, that's a pretty big place. How do you do that?
Yeah. So with the county park side, we plow all of our own roads with our maintenance crew, and then the historical staff. We have to shovel like all around the museum buildings themselves. So it's kind of a team effort here.
You know, you mentioned the park side versus like the National Cemetery side. And so, just to clarify, all of us, in St. Louis, we've grown up with Jefferson Barracks. My grandpa fought in World War II, and he is buried in Jefferson Barracks. But then there's the park side where they hold cross-country races, and there are museums. So how does that divide work?
Yeah, so as you said, most people recognize Jefferson Barracks just for a national cemetery, which it's important. It has over 20,000 graves, and we have guys there who were alive during the American Revolution years. But it's so much more than just a cemetery. It's still an active military base, too. We have the Missouri National Guard. They use the actual installation parts of Jefferson Barracks as their training center. But then in 1946, when World War II ended, the federal government said, we don't really need this as a military base. So they gave part of it to the St. Louis County Parks. So now we operate 2 historical parks within Jefferson Barracks. So you have Jefferson Barracks Historic Site, you have Sylvan Springs, but then there are so many other entities within Jefferson Barracks too. We have Melville School District. They use the old hospital building for some of their maintenance crews. We also have St. Bernadette's Church that used to use the old Post Theater. And then we have 5 nonprofit groups that also run museums. So we're this one giant 1,700-acre place, but there's so many other entities within Jefferson Barracks. So for the county parks, we will host historical events, recreation events. We have 3 miles worth of walking trails. We have cross-country meets, as you said. So we try and bridge the gap in not only history, but also recreation, all rolled into kind of one little thing, which is Jefferson Barracks.
I think most people in the area think of it as just a cemetery for people who are in the military, but that's not really how it started. So what was it in 1826?
Yeah, so we have to think about even before 1826 too, because Jefferson Barracks replaced Fort Bellefontaine, which was the first American fortification west of the Mississippi, and it sat on the Missouri River. That location turned out to be very bad. It flooded, it was disease-ridden, and so the government wanted somewhere closer to St. Louis City. And so they decided that Jefferson Barracks was a suitable spot because it was a donated tract of land. And so it was created for essentially a basic training center for the infantry. But then we will also have dragoon units, which are cavalry units. And then eventually in the 1840s and 50s, the artillery regiments will be housed at Jefferson Barracks. So where Jefferson Barracks Historic Site actually is the old Ordnance Department of the U.S. military. And so we used to have several powder magazines here that held weapons, gunpowders. I always tell the young kids, anything that goes boom is housed in our powder magazines. And so we see Jefferson Barracks starting as kind of that central western point. And we have fought in every war from the Black Hawk War in the 1830s all the way through the end of World War II. And so you have this long, rich history of heroic adventures, some sad parts too. You see kind of those major names throughout history all coming through Jefferson Barracks. We've had several famous generals from the Civil War era or from World War II stopping at Jefferson Barracks or were stationed here. So you see that 200-year history, and it's hard for me to not be excited to talk about 200 years because that's what I'm here for.
Yeah, it's unbelievable that the history, and it's so funny how you can take things for granted, especially when you grow up in a city or you hear the name Jefferson Barracks all the time, right? Growing up, as all St. Louisans did, I always say the old courthouse is right here, across the street from where we are. And I grew up learning about the Dred Scott decision, but I never was like, do you understand? It happened right here, the history. And that's the same thing with Jefferson Barracks. I bet there's a lot of St. Louisans who haven't been there to really tour the museum, to really see the whole facility and learn about the history, 200 years of history, predating the Civil War, during the Civil War, up until World War II, when it was kind of became vacant after World War II, and then it was restored again.
Yeah, and we can see all this history kind of play out in our museum buildings. But when we think about, post-World War II, people used Jefferson Barracks as a recreation center almost immediately. Prior to the National Guard coming in, there was actually softball fields and baseball fields on the parade ground of Jefferson Barracks. It would take an Army officer to come visit the National Guard base and question why there were baseball fields and softball fields at an active military base. So you have this always unique presence of recreation going on at Jefferson Barracks, which is very fascinating for me.
So how will the bicentennial be acknowledged this year?
Yeah, so we have a couple bigger events planned. The first one being on June 6th, D-Day. It's our history showcase, and it's going to be held at the historic part of Jefferson Barracks from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., but we will be bringing in area historic sites, museums, societies, and it'll be a live demonstration of what history has to offer in the St. Louis region. So we'll have exhibits, we'll have music, food trucks, an opportunity to connect with local historians, authors, museum professionals, and other vendors. So that's kind of one of our big kickoff to summer things. But then as we get further into the fall, we should have an official JV celebration going on the National Guard base. We still don't know what that fully looks like. We're trying to flesh that out a little more. But as of right now, we should be able to allow the public onto the National Guard base, which hasn't happened since the 175th year. So we have a lot of things planned. We're still kind of working out some of those finer points, but I would encourage anybody, whether it's a big event or a small one, just to come out to Jefferson Barracks just to see this beautiful park. Just walk the trails, see the monuments, visit the museums. You can stop in and see me, and I can give you all of the best little nooks and crannies in Jefferson Barracks.
I have to ask, where does the Telephone Museum fit in, and how did it find its way there?
Yeah, so the Telephone Museum actually rents one of the St. Louis County Park buildings. And so they actually are housed in one of the old officers' buildings. So the officers who served during World War II actually lived where the Telephone Museum is now. And so it's a nonprofit group, and they really love telephones. And so if you ever visit there, they have so many unique telephones. They have an operating switchboard still. And so they are usually open Wednesday through Sunday, I believe, but they have some incredible phones there.
That's real. I had no idea it was there until Amy just mentioned it before we started the segment with you. So that's really cool. Hey, we would like to, if it's okay, ahead of the D-Day acknowledgement that you'll be having, we'd like to have a conversation, and then when you know better what's going to go on in the fall to acknowledge the bicentennial, we'd like to have you on again. So we appreciate your time, Jeffrey. Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you so much.
Jeffrey Edison, Jefferson Barracks museum educator, with us on KMOX. There was a lot going on in that on that property there that you just, I think my grandfather's there, my grandma's there too, buried with him. But I've only been to that part, to the cemetery part. I've only seen the grave sites. I haven't seen all this other stuff that's there.
It's it's beautiful, and I want to go to the telephone museum.
You would.
Hey, I think Scott Jagow
you would
went.
prefer to be using one of those telephones that are
100%.
Yeah.
The rotary phones
awful,
are so
terrible.
fun. You can't if you're angry, you can't slam a cell phone, but you used to be able to click and hang up the phone like you meant it.
Yeah, but here's the problem with that. If you want to dial somebody's number quickly, it takes forever.
Especially when there's a lot of
zeros,
8s and 9s.
Yeah.
Wait, 1s? Which way?
It's Chris and Amy on KMOX. Did you see this? Is next.
Being first in line can be very important to homeowners. First in line for the plumber, first in line for the HVAC guy, first at Banner Construction. It's Banner Construction's winter home event, and you can be the first in line this spring and save before the annual price increases. Banner Construction is a James Hardy and Pella replacement windows specialist, and now is the best time to schedule a free in-home consultation with no obligation. Call 314-569-1050 or check them out on the web at bannerconstruction.com and have a banner day.
Soulard is going to the dogs. Make sure to bring your four-legged friend to the streets of Soulard for the 33rd annual Purina Pet Parade, the world's largest costume pet parade. It all starts at 12th and Allen, Sunday, February 8th at 1 p.m. And KMOX's own Dave Glover will be leading the pack as the parade's Grand Marshal. Sign up today to march in the parade with your dog. The event supports Open Door Animal Sanctuary. For more details, PurinaPetParade.com. Don't miss this annual St. Louis Mardi Gras tradition. Sponsored by Purina. Big game, big screen, big energy at Ballpark Village, Sunday, February 8th. Enjoy the big game like you're in the end zone, featuring in-arena touchdown celebrations, band cams, contest VIP packages, and more, hosted by RDJ and DJ Dex. Save up to $10 on tickets with code KMOX. Tickets and event details at stlballparkvillage.com/events. For more information, KMOX.com/events.
Well, good morning, kiddo. I love that you're home from college. I've missed you.
Still taking your Nature Made vitamins?
Every day. A multivitamin and a probiotic. You better be taking yours.
Still looking out for me, Mom.
I'll never stop.
Made to care for you every day. Nature Made, the #1 pharmacist-recommended vitamin and supplement brand. Find us in the vitamin aisle, based on a survey of pharmacists who recommend branded vitamins and supplements.
Hey, St. Louis City SC fans, mark your calendars now. The Boys in Red return to Energizer Park to kick off Season 4 Saturday, February 21st. And you could be there for the dawn of a new golden era of St. Louis soccer. Go to stlcitysc.com/tickets and reserve your seat now for the MLS home opener versus Charlotte FC. Limited quantities remain. See you soon, St. Louis.
If you owe back taxes, listen carefully to rule number 1. Never go up against the IRS alone. They're cracking down, freezing bank accounts, garnishing paychecks, canceling passports. Even your home or business could be at risk. But here's what they don't tell you. The IRS has powerful tax relief programs that could save you thousands if you qualify. That's why smart people call Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax resolution firm. Nobody knows these programs like the experts at Optima. Their team of tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $2 billion in tax debt for people just like you. The IRS is not stopping, so don't wait, and don't take them on alone. For tax help you need, for tax help you can trust, call Optima today for a free consultation.
Call 800-348-0269. 800-348-0269. 800-348-0269.
Optima Tax Relief. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
For 100 years, KMOX has been a part of St. Louis. Now, those moments live on, preserved, remastered, and ready to be heard again. Discover KMOX from the Archives, a podcast featuring classic audio from a century of service.
Sponsored by Overhead Door Company of St. Louis, the genuine, the original.
The KMOX from the Archives podcast, available now at KMOX100.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
Some people spend more time planning their weekend barbecue than their retirement. And hey, I love barbecue, but ribs won't pay your bills at 85. I'm Gary Goldberg, the founder of Financial and Tax Strategies. I'll help you retire younger, richer, and with less anxiety. Give me a call, 800-966-1690, or visit us at checkwithgary.com before you burn through more than just your burgers.
Investment advisory services offered through Centaurus Financial, Inc., an FFC-registered investment advisor.
Tonight, it's men's Billikens basketball action as they face Davidson. Pregame 7:45, tip at 8 on your home for Billikens basketball. KMOX.
Now, did you see this? With Chris and Amy.
I don't want to tell this story.
I don't know. Do I want you to tell it?
Yeah, that's the only reason why I'm saying it.
Okay.
So, there was a hospital in France that had to be evacuated after a male patient arrived with some live World War I artillery shell.
Oh, yeah. Where was it?
Lodged in the old backside.
Oh! In his bottom?
Here, okay. It was, he was 24 years old. He was rushed to an emergency unit in Toulouse on Saturday night. He was in a state of extreme discomfort because of the thing. And so surgeons conducted emergency surgery. And they were shocked to discover that the source of his pain was a live bombshell, like 8-9 inches long, from 1918. That was lodged
in the rectum?
Yeah. And so anyway, they were afraid that it might explode. So the hospital, and really hurt people. So medical personnel alerted a bomb squad and the fire brigade, and they had to evacuate the entire facility while a security perimeter was formed around the medical center as authorities investigated the situation. So...
Wrecked him. Damn near bombed him. Why would you put that in your...
I don't know.
Because they have...
Maybe he was trying to...
They have devices for that.
Maybe...
That don't explode.
No. Maybe he was trying to hide it. I don't know.
Trying to hide it from who?
Maybe he was going to go on a flight and he wanted to bring it to World War I museum.
It made it 100+ years. He's still hiding it?
And boom goes the dynamite.
What a way to go, though.
I can't believe you have to call him the bomb squad.
Maybe that's how he wanted to go. Maybe that was his way out. And he said, you know what, if I'm going to go out, it's going to be spectacular.
Yeah.
Because nobody, can you imagine topping that death story? Oh, your friend died rock climbing, huh? Well, I had a buddy. You won't believe what he did.
Yeah. No, that's a bad one. Where did he get it? I don't feel like those are easy to come by. Maybe they're easier in France.
Do you feel like a lot of... I feel like all these old World War II and World War I munitions are being found in basements and stuff. Remember the one there was in Granite City? They had to call Scott Air Force Base to come look at it. It was about a year or two ago. Somebody had found a World War II bomb, I think it was.
So I do know.
And they had to come find it and take it out.
In Europe, like World War II, old bombs, artillery shells were just sunk at the bottom of lakes thinking, well, this will be fine. And it's not fine. It doesn't work that way. And so they have to go methodically and try to remove some of this live munition that is sitting at the bottom of a lot of lakes in Switzerland.
Remember that lady, the news anchor, who had to read the story about the guy who a bomb threat got called in to like a Home Depot or something? Because he walked into the bathroom and said he was fixing to blow it up. Yeah.
And he did, but in a very bathroom-centric kind of way, if you catch our drift.
Hey, did you see that it is, first of all, you know who Becky Rothman, does that name ring a bell?
Yes, it does. Becky Queen of Carpet.
Becky, Queen of Carpet, today would have been her 70th birthday.
Oh, February 3rd.
Yep.
Those
February 3rd.
commercials are such a big part of my
She
childhood.
passed away in 2023.
Becky, Queen of Carpets, was her sister Wanda? Who was the other lady? Because there were two ladies on two flying carpets, and they would loop around the arch.
Oh, yeah.
Becky, Queen of Carpets, and
I forgot about Wanda.
Matthew?
Wanda, Princess of Tile.
Yes,
That's
right.
it, Princess of Tile. Thank you.
I can't believe I remembered
Yes.
Wanda's name.
Yes, really
Wanda,
good.
Princess of Tile, and Becky, Queen of Carpets. Man, those commercials loomed large. Those were great. I wish, you know what? Forget streaming, forget ads. I just want old school commercials. I want Becky, Queen of Carpets. I want Dom DeLuise putting spaghetti sauce in a Ziploc bag. Remember those?
Yeah, I do remember those.
Those were good old days.
Amy, so I don't know who it was that did this contest. I think it was a news outlet called Block Club Chicago. And they did a contest for naming street plows.
Yeah.
And so people submitted because they have a lot of snow up there. They submitted their their ideas for what you can name the street plows. And there's some really good ones.
Okay.
And I think the best one might be Abolish ICE.
That's pretty good.
Abolish
yeah,
ICE
yeah, for a street
is such
plow.
a great name for a street plow.
Yeah.
I like that one. Daniel Burnham. If you don't know who Daniel Burnham is, he was an architect and he built like half the city.
Daniel
It's pretty good.
Burnham.
Mm-hmm. Abolish ICE is a fantastic name for a snowplow.
A snowplow is a great thing to name, like nickname-wise. You could get pretty
Right?
clever.
It's better than naming the boats. Was it Boaty?
McBoatface.
Yeah, it's better than that one. When we come back, our guy Dave Simons, partner and managing director of One Private Wealth, we're going to talk about the new Fed chair or the new Fed chair nominee. We'll see what kind of differences could be coming. Dave Simons will join us when we come back on KMOX.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textingterms.us. Texting enrolls you for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message data rates may apply. Reply stop to opt out.
This is an important message for all parents of teens. If your teen or preteen is or has been addicted to social media sites such as Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, TikTok, or YouTube, and they have suffered from eating disorders, body image issues, anxiety, depression, or suicidal thoughts, you may be eligible to participate in a lawsuit for significant compensation. Disclosures by a Facebook whistleblower show Instagram and Facebook know their social media platforms were highly addictive and may have caused eating disorders, body image issues, depression, and suicidal ideation. It appears these social media companies knew they had been causing serious harm to kids, but have done little to stop it. If your teen has been harmed by social media like Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, TikTok, or YouTube, then you could be eligible for significant compensation. If you'd like to discuss a lawsuit, text LEVEL to 323232. LEVEL to 323232. LEVEL to 323232.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson, Media Advertising Specialists, LLC, is responsible for the content of this ad with principal offices in Chicago, Illinois.
As an HVAC technician, he and his digital multimeter are in high demand. So when a noisy office HVAC turns out to be a failing blower motor, he doesn't break a sweat. With Grainger's easy-to-use website and product information, he selects the product he needs to keep everything humming right along. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Welcome back to Winter Hack Radio, the place for clever hacks to survive the season. Icy driveway? Well, try spreading sand or birdseed to help with traction. Snowy puppy paws? Well, grab a whisk, brush it off, done. Catch COVID-19? Well, just get...
Actually, there's no hack for COVID-19. But if you test positive, prescription medications for COVID exist. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Celebrating 100 years of informing and entertaining. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. The voice of St. Louis.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest, the last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the...
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your...
windshield wipers. eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying... just beautiful...
Millions of finds, each with a story. eBay. Things people love.
Welcome back to Winter Hack Radio, the place for clever hacks to survive the season. Icy driveway? Well, try spreading sand or birdseed to help with traction. Snowy puppy paws? Well, grab a whisk, brush it off, done. Catch COVID-19? Well, just get...
Actually, there's no hack for COVID-19. But if you test positive, prescription medications for COVID exist. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
It is 10 o'clock. We've got partly cloudy skies and 34 degrees in downtown St. Louis. I'm Debbie Monterey. It's a big deal for local sports fans and the local economy.
St. Louis City SC has organized a news conference at 11:15 this morning, providing additional detail around the home of City being one of 7 venues to host the 2028 Olympic soccer matches. The finals will be at the Rose Bowl that summer. St. Louis will be among the cities hosting matches leading up to that. Attending today's news conference, Mayor Kara Spencer, President and GM of City, Diego Giuliani, Mark Schreiber, the President of the St. Louis Sports Commission, and Brad Dean, President and CEO of Explore St. Louis, Ron Kitchen, CEO of Greater St. Louis, Inc., and it will be emceed by our very own Bill McDermott at Energizer Park. I'm Tom Ackerman, KMOX Sports.
The Justice Department being heavily criticized over its handling of the Epstein files. Virginia Giuffre, one of Epstein's most vocal accusers, she committed suicide last year, but her brother Sky Roberts told CBS Mornings he is outraged about the unredaction of victim names.
These are intimate details in these documents that their family members are going to see, their kids are going to see, and to unredact their names is incredibly insensitive and re-traumatizing.
St. Louis and Ed Martin has been demoted after President Trump withdrew Martin's nomination for U.S. Attorney for the District of Columbia. He was put in charge of going after Trump's enemies as chair of the Weaponization Working Group. He played a role in unsuccessful attempts to prosecute California Senator Adam FBI Director James Comey and New York Attorney General Letitia James. According to the Washington Post, Martin has also lost his title as an Assistant Attorney General, will no longer work at Justice Department headquarters, but will continue as a pardon attorney. New comments from President Trump adding to concerns among Democrats that he may try to interfere with this year's midterm elections. Speaking on a conservative podcast with Dan Bongino, Trump suggested Republicans take over the voting in multiple states.
The president made these new comments about the election process during an appearance on the podcast of his former FBI Deputy Director, Dan Bongino. And in the conversation, the president repeated baseless claims about undocumented immigrants voting. Then he called for Republicans to nationalize elections in a large swath of the country.
That's CBS White House correspondent Nancy Cordes. Trump said to Reuters recently, we shouldn't even have an election, which Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt simply said meant he was doing such a great job. From the business desk, Fenton-based Panera Bread is continuing to close its fresh dough facilities. Next month, the suburban Boston bakery will close, eliminating 92 jobs. The company will close all of its fresh dough facilities over the next year or two, going instead with Par Bake bread, shipping frozen bread to restaurants that will finish the baking on site. It's part of Panera's turnaround plan that coincides with a 5% drop in sales last year. The internet awash with customers complaining that quality has gone down while prices have gone up.
Considerable cloudiness and quite chilly this afternoon, high 36. Partly to mostly cloudy and a bit colder tonight, low 19 to 23. Remaining cold tomorrow with intervals of clouds and sun, high 32. Thursday, clouds, some sun and not as cold in the afternoon, high 42. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Mostly cloudy now, 34 degrees downtown. I'm Debbie Monterey, KMOX News.
The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM KMOX and the free Odyssey app.
Well, it is Tuesday, and we are excited to welcome in, as we always are, Dave Simons, partner and managing director of One Private Wealth. Dave, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks, Amy, and calling you from the beautiful Chase Park Plaza Hotel.
Oh, what's
how about that?
What's going on at the Chase?
I actually pulled out just briefly of an investment conference just so I could talk to you all. That's how important you are.
It must have been really boring. That's why you came out.
Chris, I wasn't going to go there, but they were starting to talk about tax planning, and I was nodding off. I
told you.
Oh, well, we appreciate. I was going to say maybe I'm like, oh no, what if you missed like the most important piece? Where they're starting the sentence, and if there's one thing you should remember from this entire conference, then that's when we called you.
Fortunately, I have one of my partners in there, so he is dutifully taking notes.
Excellent. Well, maybe we can ask you about Kevin Warsh, the new nominee for the Federal Reserve Chairman. That sounds like, I can't get it out of my head. It sounds like his name is Kevin Wash, and we're saying it wrong.
Yeah, it sounds like he's from Eureka.
Warsh.
Yes,
hey, Warsh.
Exactly.
I'm going to wash the car.
I know.
Yeah.
I now all I can hear is Warsh, like wash the car, but that's WARSH. Anyway.
Yes, it is legitimately Warsh. That's right. Well, you know what? It's an interesting pick because he's always been known as an inflation hawk, which means he thinks the Fed's role for years and years and years has always been to battle inflation, which is one of its dual mandates. But Kevin Warsh has always been, and he's been very critical of the Fed in the past when they have let inflation get too high, and in particular 21 and 2022. And he went very public. The Fed was too late in combating this. They should have been raising rates. So that's kind of what he's known for. Well. He now is serving a president who wants the opposite and has been very vocal and public about the fact that he would love short-term interest rates to go immediately to like 1%. So you have to wonder, will the real Kevin Warsh show up? Will it be what he has always claimed to be, or will he say, well, I've served somebody else and now I have to really listen to him, which would be problematic because we've talked about trying to keep the independence of the Fed. And if he is going to be nothing but a mouthpiece for President Trump and do his bidding, we have problems. I don't think that's going to happen, frankly, because he's just one voice. There are 12 people who vote. So get your popcorn ready because this is going to be interesting.
So let's say we do have a situation, forget who the president is, forget it's Trump, or it could be insert anybody you want to be there. How bad of an idea would it be to have somebody where the president can just go to him like, hey, I want you to lower interest rates, so do it right now. And then that person just obliges and does it.
Yeah, Chris, it's an interesting question because we have known for some time that there are these kinds of discussions behind the scenes. We know that LBJ back in the day put pressure on the Fed to lower rates. We know that George W. Bush, the first Bush, was very upset and blamed losing the election in 92 because of the Fed at the time, and Greenspan would not lower rates. So we know that there's always a little behind the scenes pressure. It's just never been so public. So we've got a president now who doesn't mind and saying that this is what we would like to do. But in answer to your question, what would be so wrong? We've talked about this before, too. The sanctity of the independence of the Fed is very unique in the world. And it's what monetary society now.
We're having a little trouble with his connection. Let's see if we can just get him on the phone or try something else here. But I think we're
going to reestablish.
Yeah, the Chase Park Plaza is not loving this conversation. I think that's what's going on.
Do you think he was walking briskly down the hallways and went from a place with great reception to poor reception?
I would only be in that hallway if the Christmas trees are still out. You ever been in that hallway?
It
looks so
gorgeous.
Good in there.
You know what it reminds me of is the pictures that you would see from the White House when the White House is decorated for Christmas and there are Christmas trees lining the great walkways and you can see all the way down. That's what it looks like. It's beautiful. But what Dave was saying about preserving the sanctity of these different divisions of government and not having the Fed chair be political, it kind of leans into what we were saying yesterday about the U.S. attorneys and how they're, who was it who tweeted out? He was sorry, I don't have it in front of me, but tweeted out like, hey, we need AUSAs And if you are an attorney and you support Donald Trump and his policies, then you should apply, which is not how that works. Like the Department of Justice should not say, hey, we're only hiring these lawyers who agree with the president.
Independence is good. And for anybody who's a supporter of this president, you should probably keep in mind that this can be done in reverse. It could be a president you don't like who can then have all of his attorneys in the Department of Justice and then have all of his people working at the Fed instead. And you would not like that. So I think it's something to keep in mind. We've got Dave Simons back with us again. Dave, we appreciate you just sticking it out with us. We were talking about whether or not this would be a good idea legitimately to have a president who can have that much influence over the Fed chair.
Yeah, the reason why, and I apologize, I'm kind of out in the garage now, so there's probably a little echo effect here. But here's the main problem with that, because every president wants low interest rates. Every president would love to have rates next to zero because that would juice the economy. The problem with that is you have runaway inflation. Look, the economy by all historical measures is doing very well right now with short-term Fed funds rate at around 3.5%. There's really no reason to aggressively cut rates. Be careful what you wish for. You're going to have all kinds of inflationary issues, and we'll make the 1970s look pale in comparison. So I don't know what I was able to get through before we had some of these mechanical issues here, but I was saying that the reason why that we have the strongest monetary capitalistic system in the world, the reason why we have a strong dollar, the reason why we are the reserve currency is because of the independence of the Fed, which is unlike virtually any other central bank in the world. Let me tell you something. The rest of the world would really start pulling money out of the U.S., and that includes selling our bonds if all of a sudden we were to lose that independence. It would be an economic disaster if that happened.
Dave, if you're looking at it from a long-term view and the independence of the Fed, has it ebbed and flowed with different presidents, or what we're seeing with Trump right now, is it taking it to a next level?
Yeah, that's a great question. No, it's always maintained that wall. We've never really had a threat to the independence quite like we have now, but it's held up well. It has, despite the fact that there's been a lot of publicity surrounding it, and despite the fact that President Trump has been very, very open and public about it, it's held up well. In fact, Amy, kind of the opposite in a way. I've sometimes wondered, did the Fed just make that decision because they wanted to show the world that they are so independent? And to that point, this is going to be really interesting what's going to happen to Jay Powell when he leaves in May. By all indications, it looked like he was just going to retire off into the sunset. I don't know if he's going to do that now, because he still has 2 more years that he can sit on the Fed governor's board, which means he can still vote. The consensus was when he left in May as the chair, he was just going to go ahead and resign his last 2 years. But because Trump has gone after him and even threatening legal action, there is a rumor that now it's going to backfire. And the guy, Trump wants Powell out of there. He may stay for 2 more years just to have the vote. So that's to my point. Sometimes I think they try to make sure they're so independent, they tend to do the opposite of what the president wants.
I know today, in terms of stocks, there's been a little bit of a downturn. Don't know how serious it is. And a lot of it has to do with earnings reports that have come in. What do you make of what the day's been so far?
Well, if you've seen, I'm sure you have, gold and silver. My goodness. That's been really the number one story right now, these commodities that went parabolic, especially in silver, and then had the big crash late last week, and now they're starting to come back up. As far as the stock market on this, Chris, I still am cautiously optimistic. I think for the most part, corporate earnings have been coming in strong. There is also a growing whisper that the economy is starting to heat up a little bit again, that the housing market in some of these areas that were soft are starting to come back up. Another reason why you'd have to be very careful to lower interest rates into a strengthening economy because that could unleash inflation. So I think the market, even though it probably is overdue for a little bit of a correction, I wouldn't surprise me by the end of the year that it's higher than it is now.
Now, with the geopolitical on a global scale, what we're seeing now, we talked about this last week with you, with the UK making deals with China and a lot of our nations, allied, friends in Europe, looking maybe to different countries like a China to make this type of economic agreement. Is that something that can be turned around? If the United States proves itself to be reliable again, can it be turned around quickly? Or is this something where, gosh, the United States may never have the standing again that it had a few years ago?
Amy, one of the most unnerving photos that I've seen in a while was the Canadian head honcho, Mark Carney, shaking hands with Chinese Premier Xi. And we have never seen anything like that. And it was all to do with the fact that Canada said, I don't think that we can really rely on our American partners like we once did. So it forces us now to basically get into business with some of our legitimate adversaries. The same thing happened with the European Union and China and now India. Now, on the good side, you may have heard that apparently the U.S. has a new trade deal with India. But, Amy, yeah, this is not something that turns around overnight. If this was 2028 and President Trump now is leaving office and nothing has really changed, whoever the new president is, Democrat or Republican, will probably have to really work hard to repair some of that. So it's a concern. I don't think it's going to affect the market today, next month, but over the next few years, yeah, it's something to watch.
Dave Simons, we love talking to you. We appreciate your time. Thank you for being with us on this Tuesday.
All right. Thanks, guys. We'll talk to you next week.
Thank you.
Dave is a partner and managing director of One Private Wealth with us on 104.1 FM KMOX. That's Amy Mark Scores. I'm Chris Ranji. Yes.
I was just saying, at a conference, financial conference.
Didn't know they had conferences at the Chase.
Yeah. Those ballrooms.
I've never seen a ballroom at the Chase.
You haven't?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, that's where they have the chess gala. In a big old ballroom with a stage.
Well, I believe you. I've just never been invited.
Never been invited to the ball.
No, I haven't. Every pretty girl deserves to go to a ball. We got something big coming to St. Louis.
We do. It's real this time.
It's real. I'm going to have to wait a little bit for it, but we'll tell you what it is when we come back on KMOX.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. My best advice to you when hiring a lawyer for your injury case is simple. If you know court personnel, ask them who they'd hire. They know. If you know an insurance adjuster, ask them. They know. And then ask them about us. Ask them about Morgan & Morgan. They know. I look forward to talking to you soon. There's only one Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm for the people. Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
St. Louis has a voice.
KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
That voice has shared our stories from headline to history.
Another home run! 4 in a row for Newfield.
From moment to memory.
President George Bush is on his way to St. Louis right now.
Among those voices, Ron Jacober.
Welcome back to the voice of the Cardinals, KMOX.
Working at KMOX is an honor and a responsibility to represent this community. It's one we take seriously. KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
I'm Piera Palazzolo, VP of Digital Marketing for the American Management Association, a company focused on the management training skills needed to enhance the careers of business professionals. We did our research when it came to the best companies for website development and chose AmericanEagle.com. And we couldn't be happier. AmericanEagle.com worked closely with us to understand the front and back end requirements needed to launch an e-commerce website that could handle the complexities of running thousands of seminars nationwide. Our robust new website and improved SEO saw immediate increases in site traffic and web revenue. If you're in need of managerial effectiveness and success, visit our website at Amanet.org. If you're in need of a website that provides an unparalleled consumer experience, I highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Transform your business today.
Dial 877-WebNow1 for a free digital consultation with AmericanEagle.com.
How many of you think taxes will go up in the future? And if they do, who will get hit the hardest? Maybe it's you, headed for retirement. You've been saving in that 401k or IRA, and that money has never been taxed. And Uncle Sam is looking at that account like it's a big, juicy steak. What can you do about it? Join the All Financial Group for their Taxes in Retirement Seminar, Thursday, February 19th or Tuesday, February 24th. They believe a financial plan is not a retirement plan without a tax plan. Fund your retirement, not Uncle Sam's. Reserve your spot today by calling 636-230-8824. That's 636-230-8824. Or go to yourmoneymattersstl.com. Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor. Neither the firm nor its agents or representatives may give tax or legal advice. Individuals should consult a qualified professional for guidance before making any purchasing decisions.
Join Mark Patrick Hypnosis. Lose the weight or stop smoking. Guaranteed only $59.99. Saturday, March 7th at the Residence Inn by Marriott, St. Louis Westport in St. Louis. Weight loss hypnosis starts at 11 a.m. Registration at 10:30 a.m. Stop smoking starts at 2 p.m. Registration 1:30 p.m.
100 years. That's how long Overhead Door Company of St. Louis has been repairing and replacing garage doors. A century of trust in St. Louis. Always look for the iconic red ribbon of Overhead Door Company of St. Louis for same-day repair service and no extra charge for evening or Saturday service. Trust your friends at Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. Schedule online at overheaddoorsstlouis.com. That's overheaddoorsstlouis.com.
Yesterday, today, and tomorrow. KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
So much Olympic talk in the past few days because, yes, the opening ceremonies for the Winter Olympics in Milan Cortina are Friday. Starts. It's getting real.
Oh, man,
but
already?
That's not why we're talking about the Olympics right now. You're never going to believe it. But St. Louis will be a host city for the 2028 Olympic football/soccer tournament when LA hosts the 2028 Summer Olympic Games. So they are spreading out some of the round robin and some knockout games for the soccer tournament. And the other cities will be Columbus, New York, San Diego, San Jose.
San Jose, yeah. Nashville, I think, is on the list.
Nashville and St. Louis. That's the group of cities that will host some of these games. And the way they'll do it is with the round robin games. And then once they start getting to knockout games, the teams will slowly progress from the East Coast to the West, which will minimize travel inconveniences. But yeah, we will have real Olympic sports events here in St. Louis. And again, we've had preliminaries before. We've had trials and that type of thing, like with the gymnastics, the figure skating, with the marathon trials. But this is actual part of the Olympics during the Olympic Games.
So that would be very cool and is going to be. And, that's the kind of thing that a new stadium can do for you, I suppose.
Yeah.
Because now that the soccer team is here and there's a really great venue to play some of those games, this is fantastic. And so it's a shame that we have to wait a couple of years for this to go down. But, to know it's coming is very, very good for the city. And what'd be really great is if we could end up shoring up being a location where one of the international teams can practice for the World Cup, which is coming up this year.
That's right. That's still an opportunity, maybe?
Yeah,
maybe.
I don't know. It's possible. I don't know how likely it is, but that would be really cool, too.
And this, I believe, too, will be for both the men's and women's soccer tournaments.
Yeah.
And for the first time in Olympic history, there are more women's soccer teams than men's soccer teams, with the women's competition expanding to 16 teams and the men's tournament adjusting to 12 teams. Los Angeles in 2028 will also become the first Olympic Games where all teams' sports feature at least as many women's teams as men's. So going to all team sports in general.
That's also really cool, too. And, we have had as a country, we've had a lot more success with the women's national team than we have the men's national team.
And that kind of gets into our conversation, though, which never ends. But when it comes to sports and the critical mass for women or men, soccer gets a lot of the best female athletes in swimming and tennis. I get it. But when it comes to team sports, soccer is such a big deal for female players. A lot of the best athletes will go to soccer. Not only do you get college scholarships, but the women's national teams and the professional leagues. There's real money and a real future in women's soccer, maybe more so, especially historically, than other sports. Whereas with men, I mean, football, baseball, basketball, even hockey, male athletes have to compete with those. They've got those four sports pulling at them before they have the allure of soccer.
And this is I had this argument.
In the U.S.
Right.
Yeah.
I had this argument with an old coworker years ago about this, and she was adamant that no, there are still enough people in the United States where we should have enough good men's talent that we should be able to put together because the population is huge. At that time it was like 330 million. Now we're 350, something like that. That we should have enough. There should be enough talent. And my argument is what yours is. Like, yes, there's enough talent, but the elite of the elite, the absolute best players, and this isn't 100% all the time, because, yes, I know that some of the best athletes in the country do end up going to play soccer, but the vast majority of them start to filter to other sports after Little League soccer. They just do. They go to play baseball, or they go play basketball or football.
Because so many of us play community soccer, CYC soccer, YMCA soccer, whatever it is. A lot of people are exposed to soccer, and you could argue that in some ways soccer is more approachable. It's more available to people
especially
across the
when
country.
You're young. Yeah,
especially when
definitely.
you're young. I mean, or whether you're well, actually, a couple things I was going to say, and all you need is a ball, right? And you can technically practice. However, I have also heard that our soccer system in the U.S., with all of our club teams, there's a lot of
it's inaccessible.
I don't want to say pay to play, but kind of like they're pretty elite teams. It's inaccessible financially. It's inaccessible schedule-wise. That if you want to be a good soccer player, you have to go to all of these club teams that are thousands and thousands of dollars. And maybe while soccer should be accessible, the way our system is set up makes it less so.
Yeah, and again, I'm not a soccer parent, obviously, and it's very different from when I was a kid that I'm aware of. When I was a kid, it was very different than this, but that's what they say. We've talked to parents who are like, man, if you want to be on that big time soccer circuit, I mean, you've got to have money to do it.
Yeah.
And a lot of really good, young, athletic kids don't get that opportunity because their parents don't have the money to have them be in it.
Yeah, and feel free to text in 314-436-7900. I know, too, with club teams, meaning like travel teams in any sport, it can get political.
Yes.
But I don't know if soccer is more that way. But with football, I mean, you focus so much on high school. They're not really travel football teams in the same way that there are soccer teams.
No, I mean, there just isn't an opportunity to play that much football.
Yeah.
You don't want to.
No, you don't want to. But
Right.
also I think that makes it more egalitarian than maybe soccer is because of the way soccer is set up.
Yeah, well, soccer is such a big deal in many cities around the country in the South. High school soccer, we're talking, that I'm not sure that anything could replace it.
You mean football?
Football, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I was like,
yeah,
really?
I don't think there's anything.
Yeah.
There's not much that can replace
No.
it.
Texas is football. That should be
Yeah, they
their
make-
flag, is just a high school football
They
field.
build nearly professional-looking
Yeah.
stadiums in some high schools down
Yeah.
there. So I think that will always be the case. And again, you only play a handful of games a year. You can't really play multiple times a week, or you will die because it's football. Speaking of sports, we're going to talk about the Cardinals trade. They made a three-way trade. They were part of a three-way deal with the Tampa Bay Rays and the Seattle Mariners, and Brendan Donovan has been shipped off prior to spring training really getting started. We're going to talk to KMOV and Matrix Midwest sports reporter Jacob Sersosimo next on KMOX.
For 100 years, you've welcomed KMOX into your cars, your kitchens, and your daily routines.
You've trusted us through breaking news, championship celebrations, and the stories that shaped our city.
You've listened during moments of joy and leaned on us when times were uncertain.
From overnight shifts to early mornings, from one generation to the next, you've made KMOX a part of your life.
From everyone at KMOX, thank you, St. Louis, for 100 unforgettable years.
KMOX Radio, the voice of St. Louis.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
Now, KMOX weather from the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk.
It's 32 degrees and the sun's peeking out here. A high today of 36. So it's just colder today. Maybe some cloudiness, maybe some flurries, a freezing drizzle. Tonight, a low of 22.
I hear from sellers all the time that they fear they have missed out on the selling market. They are so relieved to learn September, October, and November are strong selling months. With low inventory and hopefully lower interest rates, this fall will be a hot one for real estate. I'm Christina Straight, owner of Straight Realty. You may have heard me say, why pay more than 4 for years? Now it's why pay more than 2, saving you even more money. Call me 314-441-4444. And remember, why pay more than 2?
Straight Realty is a licensed broker in the state of Missouri, Kansas, and Nevada.
Real sports talk for real sports fans. What's up, everybody? I'm Nick Costos, and you can catch You Better You Bet with me weekday mornings 9 to noon Eastern on the new Westwood One Sports. From being live from Radio Row for the big game to being joined by the biggest names in sports and entertainment, it's sports talk for people that love sports. Download the Odyssey app and listen from anywhere. It's You Better You Bet with me, Nick Costos, live and interactive Monday through Friday, 9 to noon Eastern, presented by BetMGM on Westwood One Sports.
Hear that? That's Mike. He took ZzzQuil Pure Z's, so now he's sleeping soundly on a Sunday night. ZzzQuil Pure Z's are fast-acting melatonin gummies with a complementary botanical blend to help Mike get the sleep he needs to wake up refreshed and ready to conquer Monday.
Let's do this, Monday.
ZzzQuil Pure Z's, just for sleep. Really great sleep. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Use as directed.
Soulard is going to the dogs. Make sure to bring your four-legged friend to the streets of Soulard for the 33rd annual Purina Pet Parade, the world's largest costume pet parade. It all starts at 12th and Allen, Sunday, February 8th at 1 p.m. And KMOX's own Dave Glover will be leading the pack as the parade's Grand Marshal. Sign up today to march in the parade with your dog. The event supports Open Door Animal Sanctuary. For more details, PurinaPetParade.com. Don't miss this annual St. Louis Mardi Gras tradition, sponsored by Purina.
What if every time you spent money, you saved money too? With Achieve It Checking from Together Credit Union, you can do just that. Every debit card purchase is rounded up to the nearest dollar, and the spare change goes right into your savings. And here's the best part. Together Credit Union boosts your progress by matching qualifying savings up to $8 a month. It's a free checking account that helps you achieve more automatically. Learn more, or better yet, enroll today at togethercu.org. Together Credit Union, federally insured by NCUA.
This is the Gas House Gang from KMOX.
Bernie Nicholas and the Gas House Gang, today at noon on America's Sports Voice, KMOX.
The 1-0 pitch here to Brendan Donovan. Donnie swings and he lines that one to deep right center field. Gilbert will not catch that. Donovan has another double off Logan Webb. That's the way the game started.
Yep, the trade has happened. Brendan Donovan is no longer with the St. Louis Cardinals after a deal that was announced yesterday afternoon. He is off to the Seattle Mariners, part of a three-way deal that was made between the Mariners, Cardinals, and the Tampa Bay Rays. To discuss that and what might be next, we talk with Jacob Serzosimo, sports reporter for KMOV and Matrix Midwest. Jacob, good to talk to you. How are you?
I'm well this morning. How are you guys?
We're doing okay. So what are your thoughts on the deal? The Cardinals getting 3 prospects in return. They get a couple of draft picks, some compensation picks that come their way. How do you think they did?
I think it's a good trade for the Cardinals. I really do. I think Brendan Donovan was one of those guys where they weren't going to get rid of him if someone was not offering either exactly what they wanted or better than what they wanted. I think even last year, you go to what John Mozeliak said about his left-handed batters during the season. He said, we frankly weren't going to get rid of any of them unless we were blown away. Now, I don't know if the Cardinals necessarily had to be blown away this time around, but I think they needed a really good comp for him, and I think they got a really good comp for him if you look at Jurangelo Stenja, he's number 4 right now in the Cardinals prospect rankings. They updated those rankings, and he's right there. Tai P, he's down at number 15. So you got 2 good prospects, and the Seattle Mariners have a good farm system, and that is what the Cardinals are trying to do, is get this farm system up and going. And what I'm more pleased with is the Cardinals are doing exactly what they said they were going to do. They come to the podium a couple years ago and say, we are going to focus on our farm system, our minor leagues, and developing players better. And then they go out and they get a bunch of young players. They kind of revamp their farm system, and they say, this is what we're going to do, and we'll show you that that's what we're going to do. And then they go out and get a bunch of players to fill those minor league rosters, and good players to fill those minor league rosters, and that's what they're doing.
So we know that they've gotten, they got a pitcher in this deal. They have acquired a lot of pitching in the last couple of years through the draft and through trades. It seems to be a focus of theirs because they've been really thin at the minor league level lately anyway. It's no longer a strength for them. And as you said, it's really difficult to know how these guys are going to pan out a couple of years down the line. But if you really had to take a guess here, if you had to project, how long are we looking before this Cardinals team is really, truly competitive again?
Well, I think I think some people have said they're a year late in doing what they're doing, but they're doing it the right way right now, which is kind of break this down to the bones and kind of go up from there. I think they have a really good core, and I say that with Mason Wynn. I think he's your future. He's your face of the franchise. You want to Gold Glove this year. And then you have a lot of really good young guys that got quality opportunities. Now, the big question will be, like you just mentioned, where their pitching goes, because they have guys that can hit, they have guys that can play defense. I think the big question mark going into this year is, how is McGreevy and Palante and, Leahy and some of those guys going to be how are they going to be on a consistent basis? And I really think it just depends on how those guys do on a consistent basis. I think if you really want to just take a guess out there, you can probably think a handful of years maybe before we can really start seeing some really good results from what they're doing. But you got to remember how young a lot of these guys are, and your locker room leadership in the last few years has been Nolan Arenado, Sonny Gray. I think Kyle Gibson in there, Lance Lynn was in there, Miles Michaelis, Brendan Donovan was like a silent leader last year. Well, all those guys are gone, and so it really depends on how these players develop and how they look at this opportunity. Now, everything they've said from winter warm-up and interviews that they've done seems like they're really excited about this opportunity, and right now they're down to the bare bones and they can build up from there, and these players really look at this as an exciting opportunity for them. But at the end of the day, you're playing against teams like the Dodgers, and you're playing against teams like the Mets and the Brewers and really good teams in this league that are going to spend a ton of money. And at some point, the Cardinals, if they get to that point, have to be ready to spend a bunch of money and build around some of these cornerstones of their team.
You've had the opportunity to cover Donovan now for some time, and from all accounts, pretty good clubhouse guy and a really good fit. And I said this earlier, that he's the kind of guy who'd be a good fit for pretty much any team, and really a contending team is where he belongs, which is where he ended up. What was your experience like covering him?
I enjoyed covering Brendan Donovan. Now, does he necessarily like a camera, a light, and a microphone in his face every day in the clubhouse? Maybe not. But I can understand that. It's not really for everybody. He was always pretty reserved, and he was kind of an all ball type guy. And I think, but he was never disrespectful. And I think there comes a point sometimes where some players don't want to talk to the media, but if they don't want to talk to the media, they can do it in a respectful way. And he was always really respectful. And he talked when we asked to talk to him. I thought Brendan Donovan, from the outside looking in, when people would say, he is kind of a silent leader. We love Donnie in the clubhouse. We love having him around. From every time that we got access to be around Brendan Donovan, whether it be in the clubhouse or it be anywhere else, it seemed like that's exactly who he is. He's the same guy every day. And you can tell being around him why other players love to be around him. And I think he might not have been the most vocal guy, But, when Brendan Donovan's on your team, you know exactly what you're going to get. He's going to show up, he's going to work really hard, and he's going to be there to help. And he was there to help for so many youngsters on this team over the last few years.
All right, Jacob, we have pretty much avoided it for the whole show. But last night, the Blues were up 5-1 against the Nashville Predators, and they managed to lose 6-5. And it was the famed dad's trip. The last two games before the Olympic break, all the dads or brother, whoever is filling in, goes on this trip, and you always see a jump in their step. And I saw the Blues go up 5-1, and I thought, oh my gosh, we need to bring the dads on all the trips. They just need to travel the whole season. But a real disappointing end to the game with Steven Stamkos scoring twice in the third period. The Blues lose 6-5. It's kind of on brand for what we've seen so far this season from the Blues.
Yeah, unfortunately for Blues fans, it really is. And what's been the problem all year for this team? It's been urgency, playing for one another, and their defense. And unfortunately, you give up a 4-goal lead on the road. A 4-goal lead in hockey is quite substantial. Mm-hmm. And for them to give that up at this point in time, I think if any fan was kind of avoiding the kind of gloomy cloud over the head of St. Louis right now in the Blues organization, that maybe we should really stop looking at trying to make a push or trying to do anything and kind of come to the realization that some players might be gone here and Army and Steen and them might have to look at kind of reloading this. I think last night might have been a clear indicator in the direction of this organization and of this team over the next month and a half now. You said it. It's disappointing. I mean, just to watch what kind of happened there. I think Jeremy Rutherford had a really good tweet, just like talking about the state of this team right now, and it's for Blues fans, for St. Louis fans. I mean, we just talked about the Cardinals kind of having a youth movement and kind of rebuilding up, and you're kind of looking at that with the Blues right now, and just a disappointing end to what looked like a really good game for the Blues at the beginning.
So does this mean that a 4-goal lead is twice as dangerous as a 2-goal lead? Which is already the most dangerous lead in hockey? That's what I keep being told.
Yeah, I mean, if you frame it that way, I think that makes sense.
We also got some word that this is official. It's not like we are just, we've reported it, but the Olympics are coming to Energizer Park in 2028. There'll be some Olympic soccer that's going to take place here. This is a really big deal for the city, Jacob.
Yeah, it is a really big deal for the city. I'm actually on my way to Energizer Park right now to go to that press conference, and there's a lot of people at that press conference as a sports person that I normally don't get to interact with. A lot of city officials and development people and a lot of people I don't normally interact with. So this is going to be interesting for sports guy Jacob Sersosimo showing up at this press conference. But I'm looking forward to it. I think it's really good. I think St. Louis, everybody knows it's a soccer city, but what Carolyn Kindle and what City SC has done with that side of like downtown West and how much investing they've done in the sport of soccer and bringing things to Energizer Park. I don't think an Olympics like this happens, one, without the fan support that City SC gets even in down years, but two, without the events that they try to continue to bring to Energizer Park. They brought the U.S. men's national team to town. They brought the women's team to town. They host the Big Ten Women's Championships at Energizer Park. Like, this is nothing. This isn't like it just came out of nowhere. They've been building for things, and they do things the right way, I think, at City SC so that they can get events like this. And I think what they do at City is they don't really – it seems from the outside looking in like they don't cut a lot of corners. They're there to do it the right way the first time around, and that's what they did when they built the beautiful facility, and they have a great state-of-the-art facility with the 2 practice pitches – well, 3 practice pitches technically – and Energizer Park. And I think the Olympic Committee and people around the U.S. and the soccer community really realize that and realize that soccer in St. Louis isn't just another sport in town. It's one of the sports in town. And not only do the fans treat it like that, ownership treats it like that. And if that's the case, why not want to bring a big event here if you're one of those big committees?
Well, I think when you're brushing elbows with all the leaders, the city leaders at Energizer Park, you should engage in some real gotcha journalism.
It's a good idea.
I'm sorry, you cut out.
Come on, Jacob. Do it.
Yeah, it's going to be great. Just get some real gotcha journalism, and I think you'll cause a scene.
Yeah, cause a scene.
Yes. I don't think he wants to.
I don't think he wants to cause a scene.
I don't think so
Yeah,
either.
no, Jacob
All right.
won't do it.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, Jacob.
Jacob, we appreciate your time as always. Actually, did we actually lose him?
I think we did.
Or if he's committing to a bit where he's just like, I'm not going to answer them for the rest
Do
of
you
the
know what
thing.
I will say? If he committed to the bit like that, he's a
Thank you,
TV
Jacob.
guy committing.
Wow.
Jacob's back.
I missed a bit. I am so sorry.
You're okay.
You're okay. We just said to commit some gotcha journalism, and
Yeah.
then you didn't answer, and we thought, okay, he is gaslighting us now.
No, I'm excited for this. I'll see what I can get. Except I'm not the news guy at this press conference. We have other people come to this press conference.
All
Okay.
right. Well, have
Well,
fun.
don't get yourself in trouble.
Create a scene, and we'll catch up with you on the other side.
Perfect. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Jacob.
Don't let the mayor's goons get you. Be careful.
All right.
That's Jacob Sersosimo, KMOV, and Matrix Midwest.
Henchmen. Aren't they called henchmen?
No, I think when you're a mayor, you get goons.
Yeah.
Henchman is for like
Bad
your
guys.
Yeah, henchman's like organized. Like it's not the mob,
Mhm.
but it's about like the Joker has henchmen. He doesn't have goons.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They're just bad guy goons. At any rate,
So
don't let them get you.
best of luck to Jacob. Jacob Sersosimo with us again on KMOX. That's Amy Marks Cores. I'm Chris Ranji. Man, we got a whole hour to go. And, I should tell you this. Two things, actually. Gas House Gang at 12 o'clock. Bernie Miklasz, Tom Ackerman, me. We will break down the Brendan Donovan trade. We'll talk Cardinals baseball. Also, you should know tonight, the number 19 Billikens. They are in the top 20. They will play 8 o'clock against Davidson. We've got the broadcast on KMOX at 7:45 on 104.1 FM. And Super Bowl 60 is coming up. That's right, this Sunday. And it might be last call for football, but FanDuel is giving you a daily profit boost every single day leading up to the big game. So today's 30% profit boost, it's on rushing markets. So rushing yards over under, alt rushing yards, most rushing yards. What are you thinking? You could maybe lower Drake May's rushing total to 30 plus. Right now it's at 36.5. And a lot, again, these lines will move going into the actual game on Sunday. So you can keep checking back in. All you have to do is opt in each day and place an eligible bet to use that day's profit boost. So play your game with FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of Super Bowl 60 and KMOX. FanDuel.com/Missouri and get started. 21 and over and present in Missouri. Opt-in required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
The Humane Society of Missouri's Day of Giving is just around the corner. On this day, your favorite local TV station will highlight incredible rescue stories of animals fighting to survive, stories of courage, resilience, and hope. Visit the Humane Society website to watch these powerful stories and see the life-saving work made possible by compassionate donors like you. These stories underscore why it's so vital to support the HSMO. More information.
My house has a new glow. I love my windows. Universal Windows Direct.
Hey, it's Dave. Right now, buy 2 windows and get 2 free and 0% financing for 36 months, plus $500 off your project. Call 314-334-2522. Like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows.
I love my windows. They've got that brand new home effect. Universal Windows Direct.
Nothing makes a gathering great like Eggland's Best Eggs. They're just so delicious with better nutrition, too. For us, it's eggs any style, as long as they're the best. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
Another app for inventory, one for CRM. Oh, don't forget accounting. Wait, which login was that?
Or you could use Odoo, one fully integrated system that does it all without the hassle.
Ditch the app overload. Get everything your business needs on one platform. At odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
With the new IHOP value menu, $6 is all it takes to go to your happy place, where stacks of pancakes with bacon and eggs are just $6 every day. French toast, sausage, and eggs are, you guessed it, $6. And fluffy omelets come with a side of pancakes and only cost $6. Go to your happy plates every day at IHOP. $7 in some locations. Available every day for a limited time at participating restaurants in the U.S. Hours may vary. No substitutions. Not valid with other discounts or promotions. Prices may vary.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textingterms.us. Texting enrolls you for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop to opt out.
This is an important message for all parents of teens. If your teen or preteen is or has been addicted to social media sites such as Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, TikTok, or YouTube, and they have suffered from eating disorders, body image issues, anxiety, depression, or suicidal thoughts, you may be eligible to participate in a lawsuit for significant compensation. Disclosures by a Facebook whistleblower show Instagram and Facebook know their social media platforms were highly addictive and may have caused eating disorders, body image issues, depression, and suicidal ideation. It appears these social media companies knew they had been causing serious harm to kids, but have done little to stop it. If your teen has been harmed by social media like Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, TikTok, or YouTube, then you could be eligible for significant compensation. If you'd like to discuss a lawsuit, text LEVEL to 323232, LEVEL to 323232, LEVEL to 323232.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson, Media Advertising Specialists, LLC, is responsible for the content of this ad with principal offices in Chicago, Illinois.
For 100 years, KMOX has been a part of St. Louis. Now, those moments live on, preserved, remastered, and ready to be heard again. Discover KMOX from the Archives, a podcast featuring classic audio from a century of service.
Sponsored by Overhead Door Company of St. Louis, the genuine, the original.
The KMOX from the Archives podcast, available now at KMOX100.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey, St. Louis City SC fans, mark your calendars now. The Boys in Red return to Energizer Park to kick off Season 4 Saturday, February 21st. And you could be there for the dawn of a new golden era of St. Louis soccer. Go to stlcitysc.com/tickets and reserve your seat now for the MLS home opener versus Charlotte FC. Limited quantities remain. See you soon, St. Louis.
The Chris and Amy Show is video streaming now on KMOX's YouTube, X, and Facebook pages. Click and subscribe.
Super Bowl should be on a Saturday and not a Sunday. It's crazy that they put it on a Sunday when people have to get up the next day to go to school, to work. Saturday is the better way. Bye.
Yeah, Jackie.
Yeah.
Jackie gets it.
I do
Left
feel
us
like
a voice message on the Odyssey app.
we didn't make it on Sunday.
No, it's not our fault.
Yeah.
I'm advocating for it being on a Saturday. It's the easiest fix. And
Is
I don't
it?
want to, yeah.
You think it's easier than moving it to the day before President's Day, a la Matt Pajeski's suggestion?
Yeah, I mean, unless it makes sense with the regular season that it runs into. And President's Day is the third Monday of February. Okay. So I don't know how that always works out with the regular season.
Because it could be 14 days and it could be 21.
Yeah. So instead of waiting 14 days between the conference championships and the Super Bowl, you go 13 days. That's plenty of time. Plenty of time. You don't. It's such an easy fix. Just have it on a Saturday. And that's what you can do now is you can vote in the poll at Chris Amy KMOX. We are on Twitter. And if you go there, pinned right at the top, you can vote in this poll. And it says, we all want the day off after the Super Bowl, right? So what day should the Super Bowl be? And well, we ended that sentence with a preposition, which we shouldn't have, but it's okay.
On what day should the Super Bowl be? That sounds a little formal for a Super Bowl question.
So here are your options. The Sunday before President's Day, Saturday, or leave it as it is. And I mean, right now, and I know we only have a handful of votes,
yeah.
But leave it as it is not going to win this one.
No, I don't think
everybody,
it is.
like the vast majority of people, think it should be on a different day.
Well, we have a few Super Bowl issues. At least, I don't know. I think I do, and maybe I'm wrong here, but the Super Bowl commercials are a big deal, and obviously advertisers pay an enormous amount of money, $8, $10, $11 million for a 30-second spot. Is it weird or anticlimactic to release all of these Super Bowl commercials on the YouTube before the Super Bowl?
Yeah, I don't like it.
Like, shouldn't we all be surprised at the same time? There is so little collective / community entertainment all at once now because of the streaming services. You know, we're all watching the shows when we want to watch them, the movies when we want to watch them. But with live sports, it's the one entertainment medium that brings the whole country together at the same exact time. And that used to be that way. What was it? The Seinfeld finale had over 70 million viewers. Over 70 million people watched the Seinfeld finale all at once. That brings us together. Now I think the number one sitcom has maybe 2 million people watching it at any given time. But the Super Bowl, the commercials, we should experience that together, right?
Well, I mean, we are experiencing the game together, but I agree with you. Part of the allure of the commercials is not knowing what's going to happen. Like you might hear, Anheuser-Busch has 6 commercials, or this company bought space for a commercial. Like maybe you would hear that, but you wouldn't get the entire thing first.
And then you watch the game, and then that night or the next day, everyone is talking about, oh my gosh, did you see the E-Trade babies on the plane? That was hilarious. Versus the week before, you see a Today Show headline.
Yeah, I don't want that. Just
you get the Today
Show headline. Post them Monday after the fact. And I have this kind of goes into my other gripe about trailers, movie trailers. There is this trend that we have talked about before where there's like a trailer inside the trailer. So if you go to YouTube and here's the new trailer for whatever movie it is, the first 5 seconds is clips from the trailer you're about to watch.
Oh yeah.
Don't do that. Just give it. I can sit through 2 minutes.
I think most people
I don't
can't.
need a teaser. I don't need a 5-second teaser of 2 minutes I'm about to watch. By the way, President of Baseball Operations Chaim Bloom, he is going to be joining the Gas House Gang today at 12 o'clock. They made the trade, sending Brendan Donovan to Seattle, getting some prospects and draft picks in return. So we will talk to Chaim Bloom about that just after the 12 o'clock news during the Gas House Gang on KMOX.
Wesley is a truck driver.
I drive a truck, and I love what I do.
A truck driver with IRS troubles.
They told me I owed them $43,000. I was going to lose everything.
One sleepless night, Wesley finally made a call to Optima Tax Relief at 2 a.m.
Kind of figured I'd get a machine, but I didn't. I actually got to talk to an actual person in the middle of the night.
He found just what he was looking for.
Oh, they were great people. You need a team of people that know what they're doing. Optima Tax, they know what they're doing.
Optima Tax Relief came through with flying colors.
I saved an incredible amount of money. Happy don't even come close. I was absolutely...
Need of a hero. One man rises to the challenge in style. He is...
just driving the kids to soccer practice.
Make every day feel epic in the all-new Hyundai Palisade Hybrid with up to an EPA-estimated 619 miles of range on select trims, advanced tech, and class-leading interior space. Visit HyundaiUSA.com or call 562-314-4603 for more details.
And hey, come on, no cleats on the seats.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. You know, the big wireless companies say they have discounts for people over 55, but unless you're willing to sit on hold and ask, you're probably paying more than you should. At Consumer Cellular, there's nothing to hunt down. We're built for people 50 plus with plans starting at just $20. And our 100% US-based customer service actually answers the phone. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today and get your second month free for a limited time.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
The trusted voice of St. Louis. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
New tax resolution firms are popping up every day with high-paid celebrity endorsers, advertising ridiculous claims in their TV ads. That's why they have the tiny, unreadable disclaimers at the bottom of the screen. Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. Our ads never have those ridiculous, fast-talking, tiny disclaimers at the end because, simply put, there are no guarantees when it comes to the IRS and wiping out tax bills. And we don't make promises we can't keep. Of course, there are ways the Lance Drury Law Firm can help resolve your tax debt, but no company can guarantee it will eliminate it. This is why their clients call the Lance Drury Law Firm when those promises don't pan out. If you have tax problems, you have legal problems. Call me, Lance Drury in St. Louis, at 314-260-6120 or visit Lance, DRURY law.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
It's 11 o'clock and cloudy skies, 35 degrees in downtown St. Louis. I'm Debbie Monterey. The final 2028 Olympic soccer matches will take place at the Rose Bowl in California, but earlier games will be played at stadiums across the U.S., including St. Louis. The home of St. Louis City SC, Energizer Park, is one of 7 sites announced today. Dates and locations for both the women's and men's Olympic soccer tournaments will be announced before ticket sales start in April. After releasing millions of Epstein file documents on Friday, the Department of Justice facing criticism for the redaction process because information on dozens of victims wasn't properly removed, explains. We get more from CBS News legal reporter Katrina Kaufman.
They say they are getting death threats, private banking information has been disclosed. A number of Jane Does, women who never wanted their names out there, now have their information out in the public. So the irony is strong. These are women who have wanted these files out for so long. They're now asking for them to be taken down and carefully scrutinized and redacted to make sure that no further harm is done.
The DOJ had said they couldn't meet the original December 19th deadline set by the Epstein Files Transparency Act because they needed time to carefully remove victim information from the material, and they said they added more than 400 attorneys to the team to do so. Several members of the Missouri House Budget Committee took shots Monday at the State Department of Transportation. During a hearing to review the next state budget request, Shell Knob Representative Scott Cupp said he's heard several complaints from citizens in southwest Missouri.
When no one likes you, then you sometimes have to ask yourself, hey, is it me? And in this instance, I do believe it's you all.
MoDOT Director Ed Hassinger asked for examples so he could resolve the problems. I went to the fundamental piece, right? MoDOT has a mission statement. I put customer service in it. You got to start at the top, right? And the way that I'm approaching things, I've made that an expectation of the folks that work for me. MoDOT is asking the legislature for an additional 100 workers to help with things like mowing, signage, and picking up litter. Investigators have found signs of forced entry at the Arizona home of Today Show host Savannah Guthrie's mother. Guthrie asking for prayers to help bring back her 84-year-old mother. Authorities believe the woman was taken against her will. From the KMOX business desk, Harris Stowe State University adding a $62 million STEM building to its campus. Founding dean in the College of STEM, Dr. Harvey Fields, tells MissouriNet it's part of an ongoing mission.
Helping provide an on-ramp so that students can learn how to begin to embrace a STEM culture, how to embrace learning in a STEM environment, how to learn how to navigate the courses.
The building is expected to open by the fall of 2027.
Quite chilly this afternoon with plenty of clouds and a high of 36. Partly to mostly cloudy skies tonight. It'll be cold, though, 19 to 23. Cold tomorrow with intervals of clouds and sun, high 32. A bit warmer Thursday with clouds and some sunshine, the high 42. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Right now it's mostly cloudy, 35 degrees downtown. I'm Debbie Monterey, KMOX News.
Chris Raunchy, Amy Markscores, because life is too short for boring radio. 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Well, I've never in my life DoorDashed or had anything delivered, which is pretty unusual. I've never even had a pizza delivery.
Insane.
Never had Chinese food delivered.
Insanity. Yeah.
But DoorDash and
Have
Grubhub.
you ever been somewhere where they've had food delivered? Like, has your family ever had it?
Oh, yeah. I've just never done it. So, but I think I said this growing up. It was the Wildwood area, but it wasn't Wildwood at the time. It was just unincorporated St. Louis County, and it was considered the boonies. I mean, we were 20 minutes from the nearest Schnucks.
It's still the boonies.
But we were 20 minutes from the nearest Schnucks, so for a long time, nobody delivered out there. And like Emo's, there was an Emo's further in town, and they're like, yeah, we don't really drive out there. But eventually there was another pizza place that did. So I've been at home before when I was a kid or a teenager when my parents were able to order a pizza, I'm pretty sure. But I've never ordered it. Here's the thing, though. I think it's even different than ordering a pizza, which is the Grubhub, the DoorDash, the meal delivery services. For me, one, I don't mind going out and picking up the food. And two, I cannot justify the price, the cost when you DoorDash or Grubhub because you're paying the fee, you're tipping the driver, you're paying the driver. And I'm going to order a soup and a salad and double the cost of that by DoorDashing. Well, there's a story in the New York Times that has been going pretty viral in the online circles. The title is Freedom with a Side of Guilt, How Food Delivery is Reshaping Mealtime. And of course, this discussion about food delivery and DoorDash turned into a discussion about younger people, Gen Z, millennials even, who really aren't being that thrifty when it comes to food. This is one example that there's a Keely Reedy, the story begins in the New York Times, is 34 years old. She makes $50,000 a year as a data processor in San Diego. I would guess that $50,000 doesn't go super far in San Diego. It's an expensive area to live.
Probably not.
She spends $200 to $300 a week on food delivery. She says, I'm reliant upon it. I feel guilty for using it, but I just don't have time. So $200 to $300 a week. So now you're looking at, $1,000, $1,200 a month, and you're only making $50,000 a year. I mean, that's a lot. If let's say you're making double that salary, that's still a lot of money to spend on food delivery. And I know it's just me, but a few $100, $400 a month on food. I could never do the food delivery. There was another couple that the Times interviewed, and they spend $700 a week on food delivery. So it's this couple. They have two sons. They live in Atlanta. Kevin Caldwell is the guy they interviewed, and he and his husband spend about $700 a week to order in. He said, quote, I'm so burned out and tired, I would rather just throw my credit card at the problem and delay that unhappiness until the bill comes. And this story is kind of shocking people with the amount of money people are spending on delivery services. I've seen it with high schoolers. The number of high schoolers who have friends over, they're hanging out at home, and they DoorDash Smoothie King. Like, it blows my mind. As a high schooler, I didn't have enough money to buy Smoothie King every day, much less get Smoothie King DoorDash.
Well, they're getting money from somebody.
Well, I mean, maybe. I mean, a lot of these teenagers work. And that's the thing. I will say some of the teenagers who've done it, they do work, so they know how long it takes to earn $15. If you're working like as a waiter or a server at a restaurant, it takes a long time to earn that. So have younger generations, yes, affordability is a big issue, but also have we kind of forgotten how to be thrifty? Because I am not the best at being thrifty. Like, my good friend will drive to find the cheapest gas or go to Costco and wait in line. And I get kind of lazy and I go to the nearest gas station, usually because I'm completely out of gas. I couldn't drive to Costco if I wanted to. I'll go sometimes to the closest grocery store rather than the cheapest grocery store for each items. So I'm not ultra thrifty, but even I cannot justify door dashing.
Yeah, I mean, for some people it makes sense. For a lot it doesn't. If you are in a situation where you can't really leave home or you don't, maybe it does make sense for you. I don't really know. I don't DoorDash very often. If I ever order something online, I'd say 9 times out of 10 I go get it. I don't usually have it delivered unless it just makes sense for it to be delivered, because with the delivery fees, I mean, you could be, as you've mentioned, you could buy something that was $10, but it ends up being $25 because you got a tip. Then they have the fee. Then they have the cut that the company gets on top of what the fee actually is. So, I mean, it doesn't make sense for most people to do that. If you have the means to do it, go ahead. But also, I kind of feel like it's the older generation's fault. So, like, if you're Gen X, you might, you have a kid who's Gen Z now, right? That's about what it is. I have the feeling that those of us, as we have gotten older, we expect convenience with everything. We expect immediacy and convenience. It's not just the kids, it's us. So we've kind of instilled that into them, I think. And again, I am not a parent, so I haven't done that. But we always talk about, and we hate being inconvenienced in any way. And we go for convenience. And that's why, we like streaming services, because we get it when we want it. We want to watch that movie. We want to watch it right now. We're going to get it right now because we don't want to wait. We don't have to go to the video store to pick it up or wait till it comes back from whoever else rented it out first. We don't want to have to wait. We want it now. We need it now. We've gotten used to that. We've been accustomed to it.
Like the royal we, just as a society.
So we have imparted that to them. So anything that we get mad about Gen Z behavior, well, it's kind of our fault, isn't it?
I think if you have a high schooler who is constantly door dashing, one, if it's on your credit card, yeah, that's on you. like shut down that credit card and say you're absolutely not door dashing. It's enough that you're buying my Smoothie King. I'm buying your Smoothie King, but you're not going to door dash a Smoothie King. Get up off your tuchus and go get it yourself. Now, if the kid, as I've seen which this blows my mind even more, is using their own money that they've worked hard for, I would have a sit down and say, we got to look at the value here and how you're not going to be saving much money if you're spending twice what you should on a DoorDash item. Kind of like the woman in San Diego who makes $50,000 a year and is spending $200 to $300 a week on food delivery. That is a poor financial decision, no matter how you slice it. That's a bad decision.
But my guess is she's probably the extreme, and I don't think it's certainly not the norm. I don't think there are, comparatively speaking, that many people who do that, who make 50 and they're spending $300 a week on food. I bet that's really unusual.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know, because the number of people who I know who DoorDash, it blows my mind. And again, it's kind of how you're raised, because my parents, who are in a position where they could DoorDash, I mean, they're retired now, they've lived their lives, they've worked hard. They don't DoorDash because it's so expensive.
And this is what I see. I have a lot of people my age, a little bit younger even, or older, who DoorDash all the time, but they got the means to do it. Yeah. I know a lot of people who do that.
But I think there's something to be said for having the means, and it's not just can I afford it? It's is it worth it? Is this a good time way for me to spend my money? So let me ask you this: do you DoorDash very often?
No.
And what?
Like 5 minutes ago, I told you I don't do it very often. No.
But I mean, how?
Like I would.
What does very often mean?
So I will order food from like a website, and sometimes it has to be DoorDash, but I 9 times out of 10 go pick it up myself.
Because I would say this, you don't have kids, you're not supporting a family of 5 or 6 or whatever, and it's just you, and you've been a career person for a long time, so you would be in a position where you could say, yeah, I can DoorDash. Yeah. I can have that luxury because of the position I'm in.
I always feel weird, like, man, okay, how much is it? Okay, so it'll be... Right? If I get this now, it's going to be $15 for me if I go pick it up. But if I have it delivered, it'll be $30. Like, I'm not gonna spend an extra $15 unless I'm just really tired. It doesn't happen very much. I think that
I struggle even with. I don't go out to sit down dinners because that's really expensive. Sit down dinners. It's like I'm 10. But like
Applebee's is sit down.
It is. Like a splurge for me will be getting, like, I love pho at Nudo, but it's like chicken pho is, say, $17.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, oh, that's a lot for one meal, but I can usually get 2 meals out of it, and I go pick it up, and that's how I justify it. But it's still a splurge. I'm not going to Nudo every single day. I could.
Right.
It's my favorite in the world. But, I look at it almost like a treat.
Yeah.
So it's like, would you want a treat, but also double the cost of it?
Again, it all comes down to how much you got. I mean, if you have it and it makes sense for you and you don't notice that it's gone and you're not getting that credit card bill at the end of the month and going, oh, my God, I can't afford this. If you're not doing that, then what does it matter?
Well, and I don't know I think DoorDash is a little bit different than what I'm about to bring up, because I will say there's always trade-offs with how you spend your money. Like I said, I love going on hiking trips or whatever, and I would rather use my money to go on trips. And people will say, oh, well, you're going on another vacation. But what I don't do, like certain things that are very expensive, is, me, I don't drink. You can go out every weekend and spend a lot of money on alcohol. I don't do that at all. I don't get my nails done. Like, I've never had my nails done. And that, I've had the paint put on, but I've never had, like, the dip or acrylic or whatever. And a lot of high schoolers have their nails done now, but a lot of women do. And if that's what you prioritize, go for it. But that adds up, where if you're not paying $70, $80 every few weeks for acrylics or for a dip, and then you're also not going out on weekends, that adds up so fast, and you can use that money to go on a trip pretty quickly.
That's if people want to go on trips.
That's
Not
what I mean.
wants
It's always
to.
a trade-off. But for me, DoorDash, this conversation feels less like a trade-off and more of just something people do. Like, they almost view it as groceries.
Text message here says, this is part of what's wrong with society today. I don't know if this is the part. The younger generation wants and expects the same things that older generations have worked a long time to earn. Well, okay. I mean, then you need to instill that in your younger generations that you raised, that they need to earn it first. That's on you. I feel like, and sometimes they deserve the criticism, younger people. But a lot of times it's us in the older generation. It's our fault. We raised them.
Mm-hmm.
The royal we raised them. If you wanted them to be different, raise them different. It's on you, dude.
The dog, it's the dog owner.
Yes, pit bulls are perfectly fine pets unless you don't train them well. It's
but
exactly
you need to train them well
is.
because they're a lot stronger than a Chihuahua.
Yeah, they can cause a lot of damage, so you have to train them well. Train your kids well. There you go. It's Chris and Amy on KMOX.
Do you owe back taxes or have unfiled tax returns? The IRS won't quit until they get your money. Here's great news, fresh from those in the know. Major changes have happened at the IRS. If you owe more than $10,000, you may be eligible for a 99% reduction of what you owe. Haven't filed a return for a while? Their happy clients are talking.
The IRS was going to levy my bank account, but Guardian was able to prevent that and fix all my IRS issues. Thanks again, Guardian Tax.
Need relief from crushing tax debt? The IRS now has special programs. Guardian Tax knows all about them. Personal or business, this is the fresh new brick you've been hoping for.
We aren't the company you call when you need a hug because you're scared of the IRS. Guardian Tax is the company that wins when you need it most.
Guardian Tax Service is really great to work with. They really help me out. I'd recommend them highly.
Call now for a free confidential consultation. 800-499-6623. 800-499-6623. 800-499-6623.
This is the story of the one. As the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, she knows the only thing more important than having the right safety gear is having it there when you need it. That's why she partners with Grainger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Straight Talk Wireless presents Pickup Truck Wisdom.
Trust is earned. That's why I've stuck with Straight Talk. Same price since 2009 on Verizon's 5G network. Because shoot, anyone can make a promise. Keeping it for years, that means something.
Now plans starting at $25 a month with 4 lines. Find us at straighttalk.com and Walmart. Straight Talk Wireless. Straightforward. Always. Same price claim applies only to the base monthly price of our $45 plan from October 2009 to present.
Hey guys, Glover here with my friends at Michael's Baths. Were you feeling a little embarrassed when the family came to visit for the holidays and all you could think about was your bathroom not quite being up to par? Now is the perfect time to plan ahead for a spring installation of a beautiful new bathroom. At Michael's Baths, we specialize in beautiful, safe bathroom remodels from tub to shower conversions to full renovations, including paint and electrical work. Call 636-775-0800 or go to michaelsbaths.com. Mike is a great guy, does great work. That's michaelsbaths.com.
St. Louis has a voice.
This is KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
That voice has shared our stories from headline to history.
The St. Louis Blues are the Stanley Cup champions.
From moment to memory.
Now there is only one Berlin.
Among those voices, Wendy Weiss.
We'll have more on the troop deployment to Bosnia.
Working at KMOX is an honor and a responsibility to represent this community. It's one we take seriously. KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
I'm Dave Glover, and I see clearly now thanks to the doctors, Dr. Greg Birdie, Ranjan Malhotra, Robert Brusati, and Andy Royer. You can too. Just go to youridoc.com.
Straight Talk Wireless presents Pickup Truck Wisdom.
The smartest way to spend your money is not to. Straight Talk offers free 5G phones for new and existing customers on Verizon's 5G network. So the refund money I don't spend on that free phone is the refund money I get to keep for my family. Smart.
Find us at straighttalk.com and Walmart. Straight Talk Wireless. Straightforward. Always. Taxes and fees apply. Plan purchase required for free phone offers. Copyright 2026 Verizon.
It all comes down to this, folks.
Yep, the entire season is on the line. But my throat has officially thrown in the towel.
Sounds like you need Vicks VapoCool drops. They're max strength and vaporize sore throat pain.
Whoa! These VapoCool drops hit fast!
Speaking of fast, did you just see that play?
Yeah, he vaporized that ball.
That pun should have come with a penalty.
Vaporize sore throat pain with Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed.
100 years, one legendary voice. We live KMOX's century of service, classic audio, photos, videos, and more at KMOX100.com.
Chris and Amy on KMOX. We do have the Gas House Gang at 12, and just after 12, so about 12:05, we're going to talk to the president of baseball operations of the Cardinals, Chaim Bloom, after he made that trade, Brendan Donovan. Yesterday, we got the announcement that he has been sent to Seattle, and we're just over a week away from pitchers and catchers having their first full workout in Florida. So, Chaim Bloom with us at 12:05 on KMOX.
Can you believe it's February?
Yes.
So can I. I feel like it's the most believable thing in the world, and it feels more like February than it feels than any other month feels. But yet, this was from a Jimmy Kimmel montage the other night.
Monday morning, everyone, and we're already in February.
Wow.
It's hard to believe.
It's hard to believe that it's the start of February. It's hard to believe it's already February.
It's hard to believe it's actually February now because I thought January was never going to end. Happy February. Can you believe it?
No, I literally cannot.
Can you believe it's already February? Just happy February. I know. Can you believe it? It's wild. I'm so glad we're done with January.
Sunday, February 1st.
Can you believe it? A new month.
We made it, Clay, to February 1st. Can you believe that?
It has been a while, hasn't it?
We are in the month of February. Can you believe it?
I can't believe it.
Is that something?
I can't believe it.
It must be true. It says it right there in the teleprompter.
How?
So these are just from newscasts across the country compiled by Jimmy Kimmel. And what's funny about it is not that it's just a trope that every newscaster leaned into, but it being February is the most believable thing in the world. It feels like February.
Isn't that something?
We do this with everything. We do it with Christmas. We do it with the 1st.
But that's more legit.
We do it.
I said even saying it's November 1st or December 1st feels more, wow, can you believe it's November 1st? But of all the months, the most believable thing is that it's February because you have suffered through January. It's been cold forever. There's snow on the ground. And yeah, it's February 3rd. If anything, it feels like, can you believe it's only February 3rd? It just feels exactly like it is.
I actually, to me, and I think we're in agreement on this, it feels like New Year's Eve was an eternity ago.
Yes,
so I don't know what these people are talking about. I saw a photo from New Year's Eve yesterday, and I went, "Oh my God, I forgot about that." I mean, that's
a great.
That was a month ago.
That's because you were drunk.
No, it was not. It was like that was a month ago, and it feels like 5 years.
100%.
I don't know what these people are talking about.
Like Matt said, saying "I can't believe it's February" implies that your January just flew by.
I think we're just reflexively saying, "I can't believe it's already this," and we don't really believe it.
I mean, look outside. It's cold and there's snow on the ground. If I had to guess, January or February, and we're like, I think that's a perfect guess because we just ended January and started February. It's so believable.
It's the most believable thing.
Yeah.
Because I agree. I've sometimes been a bit surprised by the 4th of July. Sometimes, especially if it's a cooler June, you just get busy. Life gets away from you, and you're thinking, oh, my gosh, I can't believe we're at the 4th of July already. Sometimes I get taken aback.
Really? The 3rd of July wasn't like a little heads up?
But it feels so much like February. If you said, what does today feel like? It feels like Tuesday, February 3rd. That's what it feels like.
I don't feel that way at all in the summer. I feel like our summers drag because we have the hottest, grossest, wettest summers. And I don't mean...
Isn't that a movie? Hot, wet, gross summer.
Hot, wet American summer. And I don't mean like with like water and rain. I just mean if you walk outside and it's like, ugh.
Well, to be fair, while it wasn't the hottest temperature this year, it was the most humid summer on record. Highest dew points. We had a dew point of 80.
It's disgusting.
That's Amazonian rainforest. This was the grossest summer ever.
Ugh. You can miss me with it.
Miss you with it?
You never heard that before?
No.
Like, miss me with all that.
Yeah, I don't need all that.
Oh, wow. I've never heard that before. Like, I miss you.
It's like teaching a child.
I miss Ranj and I miss summer.
Yeah, miss me with all that humidity. I don't need all that. Pass. Hard pass.
But yeah, I think we fall into these cliches, the superficial phrases that you just say to start a show, to end a show, to start the day, to end the day, to say goodbye or hello to someone. I do it. I commit that crime sometimes.
I'm sure they'll do it in March too, probably March 1st.
Can you believe it's March?
Can you believe that 28 days passed and that's how time works and we flip the calendar to a different month? Isn't that crazy how that works?
I think the only time I ever really do this, and maybe sometimes I do it with Christmas, but I think most of the time it's with spring training. Like, oh my gosh, spring training's almost here.
Yeah, we did just do that with pitchers and catchers.
Yeah, because it is a week from Thursday. Pitchers and catchers will have their first workout.
Say something reflexively and you don't mean it.
Yeah, that's what I think people do with February or the months. Like, oh, wow, I can't believe it's already August.
I do that sometimes. I think my brain is tired where, I don't know, they'll say, oh, yeah, we're watching this movie. I'm like, oh, yeah, I love that. And then I realize I don't love that movie.
I think
it's just a movie.
I think we should do away with months altogether.
Really?
I love the one guy in the clip who said, wow, it's been a long time since we've done this. Like, yeah, it was 11 months. We're February already. It's been a long time, hasn't it? Yeah.
Can you believe it?
It's been exactly 11 months, sir, since we were in February. Well, folks, Amy Marks, Kors, and I, we're still with you. Don't worry. We're not going anywhere yet. 12 o'clock. Gas House Gang is coming up. Bernie Miklasz, Tom Ackerman, and me. And always text the show, won't you? 314-436-7900. You're listening to KMOX.
Start your day with an edge.
Total Information AM.
It's like breakfast for your brain. I wake up, I turn on the news.
I gotta listen 3 or 4 times every day.
Debbie Monterey, Megan Lynch, Tom Ackerman.
I like to wake up with the news.
Total Information AM.
It's where I get my news. Traffic conditions and potential weather that's coming.
Total Information AM. Weekdays 5 to 9.
I like to turn it on and just get caught up.
Where I get my news. The news, weather, and traffic.
On the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan.
I've been asked many times how Morgan & Morgan became the largest injury firm in the world. I think I know. When someone comes to us for an on-the-job injury, we have a huge workers' compensation practice. But many times we find a defective product that was responsible for that injury. Luckily for them, we have a product liability section headed by my son Mike. In addition to the comp case, there is a product case too. Other times, the injured worker is fired or harassed for bringing that claim. We have them covered. Our employment lawyers handle retaliation claims as well as wage theft and discrimination cases, and in some cases need to file for Social Security benefits. No problem. We became big for a reason. 30% of our new cases come as referrals from former clients. Hiring us is easy. Go to forthepeople.com on your mobile device or computer, or call Pound Law on your cell, pound 529. Morgan & Morgan. Injured? Dial Pound Law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
This is the story of the one. As the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, she knows the only thing more important than having the right safety gear is having it there when you need it. That's why she partners with Grainger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Now, KMOX weather from the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk.
Currently, it is 36 degrees, cloudy but bright out there. A high today of 36. We're there tonight, mostly cloudy, a low of 22.
If you're struggling with weight and frustrated with dieting each and every year, Mark Patrick Hypnosis can help. Join the over 500,000 people who have attended Mark Patrick Hypnosis with great weight loss results. Mark Patrick Hypnosis will be in St. Louis on Saturday, March 7th.
Totally changed my life.
It's amazing. I don't have any cravings. You want to quit, but have found it impossible? This is the thing for you. I have absolutely no craving. It's the darndest thing I have ever seen in my life.
It's not for entertainment. It's for results.
Do it. It works. Period.
You've tried everything else. You need to come and try this.
After this hypnosis, I want to eat good food.
Since August, I can honestly say I have not had one potato chip.
It was life-changing for me.
And I don't think about dessert.
Only $59.99. Lose all the weight you want. 100% guaranteed. Saturday, March 7th at the Residence Inn by Marriott St. Louis Westport in St. Louis. Weight loss hypnosis, 11 a.m. Registration, 10:30 a.m. Program and find out how the power of hypnosis can help you achieve your weight loss goals. There's limited seating, so get there early. Learn more at markpatrickseminars.com.
Tonight, it's men's Pelicans basketball action as they face Davidson. Pregame 7:45, tip at 8 on your home for Pelicans basketball. KMOX.
Chris Ranji, Amy Mark Scores with you on this Tuesday. Well, really interesting piece here in the New York Times looking at donations to Trump super PACs and then moves that the administration made subsequently. This time, the rule that was revoked was a rule that required more nursing home staff. It was a rule initiated during President Biden's administration, and just kind of following this pipeline of donations and then moves within the administration, we welcome in Kenneth Vogel with the New York Times. Kenneth, thank you so much for joining us today.
Hey, it's great to be with you.
So, again, reading your piece in the New York Times, it struck me as something that may not be surprising, but is still shocking nonetheless, is that the nursing home industry, as you noted, had just won a 10-year moratorium on a rule initiated during Biden's administration that required increased staffing levels in an effort to reduce neglect among residents. But then that rule was overturned, and you kind of follow the pipeline between the nursing home industry or lobby and Donald Trump. Could you kind of explain that?
Yeah, absolutely. The nursing home lobby has been, pretty effective in Washington for a number of years, but they felt like they were a little bit on the defensive during the Biden administration. Biden had singled out during one of his State of the Union addresses what he saw and what a lot of critics agree was sort of a decline in care at some of these big corporate nursing homes as they were taken over by either, Wall Street private equity firms or other investors who saw them as real profit centers, but also tried to keep costs down. And one of the ways that they tried to keep costs down was by essentially cutting corners on staffing was the criticism. And so the Biden administration enacted this rule that would have required them to have minimum staffing levels that the nursing homes objected to, and said this is going to essentially put them out of business. It would cost $2 million to retain all these staffers, and so they started fighting the rule during the Biden administration. And then when Trump came in, they saw this as like a real window for them to use, what is sort of largely seen as like a skepticism of government regulation of private industry in the Republican Party, combined with Donald Trump's willingness to essentially give audiences to and hear the concerns of corporate interests that give him a lot of money. So these nursing homes got together and they raised several $1 million during the last summer, and that got them an audience with Trump at his golf club in Washington's Northern Virginia suburbs, where they very explicitly made the case, hey, could you revoke this rule? And sure enough, in the days and weeks afterwards, the Trump administration started dialing back this rule and eventually revoked it entirely. So, this is savings of potentially billions of dollars for the nursing home industry. So you look at the return on investment of giving a few $1 million to potentially save billions of dollars. And, well, that makes a lot of sense for the businesses, but it's something that patients' rights groups and some, advocates for nurses and other sort of healthcare professionals say comes at a real cost for residents of these nursing homes and their families.
I am not so naive as to not be aware that money has bought influence in politics forever, and in this country even forever. But is this unusual, the way this particular thing was done, where the industry got together and said, hey, we'll donate to your PAC if you remove this rule? How typical or atypical is that?
I would say it's not unusual for entities, for industries and industry trade groups and companies to try to do this. What's unusual here is you have a president who's a second-term president and therefore cannot run again, is term limited, and yet is still voraciously raising money from essentially anyone who will give it, but particularly from corporate America, into a super PAC that is, it's dedicated to him. It's not like he's raising money for the Republican National Committee or for candidates who are running in the midterms. He's raising money for himself through this super PAC, through a number of means, through the Trust for the National Mall, which is raising money for the White House ballroom, for his presidential library, and the people who are giving are getting access. And in many cases, they're getting access where they are able to plead successfully for special favor, special treatment that others who don't have the money and don't have the ability to give are not able to get. So, yes, that phenomenon is, a longstanding part of Washington politics. But the fact that you have a president who is so personally invested in this type of fundraising, despite the fact that he's not running again, and is willing to essentially engage in transactionalism where he is, he's helping people who give him money. I think the degree to which that's happening is unusual in the second Trump administration.
I want to get to that on a larger scale as well. But before we move on from like the nursing homes themselves, you note in your story that a lot of groups that are representing patients in nursing homes were pretty upset by this move by the Trump administration. And they argued, as you note, that the rule was necessary to protect millions of American seniors. And also that's a demographic that helped Donald Trump return to the White House. And so there's a sense of betrayal there.
Yeah, I think that's right. And I think you see that, we sort of have long talked in politics and the political science about like people who are voting against their self-interest. So Trump did quite well among working class folks and the elderly. These are people who are not benefiting. They're not the people who are benefiting most from his economic policies, from his tax cuts for higher income earners. And yet, there was extensive support there. And so this being the sort of senior citizens, the elderly demographic where he performed quite well, and Republicans typically perform quite well there, is yet another example of a group that turned out big for him, and that, at least in this one instance of nursing home care, is not necessarily reaping the benefits, and in fact is in some ways being shortchanged by the policy decisions made by his administration that favor big business and industry and not the people who supported him.
So with the industry here, I think anybody who has been to a nursing home, has somebody in one, I mean, it's pretty evident how important having enough staff is. And no one's going to argue against that, because if you've seen it for yourself, if a staff is stretched thin, problems come out of that. If you've got a loved one in a facility like that, you want to make sure they're taken care of. So is there anything that is or any sort of pushback that is happening here to make sure the effects of this aren't as great as they could end up being?
Well, they reverted back to the previous standard, which has some minimums for the number of nurses who are on staff. But this is, was a broader thing that applied to like all staff. It's not also the nursing staffing standard also is less than what had been proposed. So no is the short answer. I mean, there's still advocates who are pushing for stricter standards, but there is nothing beyond sort of reverting to the original sort of set of policies that the Trump administration is doing on this front.
I know, I don't know if you've written specifically about this, which would be corporations and industries lobbying in order to get exclusions or somehow otherwise skirt the tariffs that Donald Trump has placed on so many industries. And we know we've seen some of it. As Scott Lincecum with the Dispatch and American Enterprise Institute has said, one of the most predictable things with all of these tariffs is that you would start to see people lobbying somehow to get around them. Have you seen that manifest?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, we've seen, a number of the Trump sort of hallmark policies that he, ran on that seem to have wide support in the sort of MAGA base. There are deep-pocketed interests that are seeking exemptions to. Tariffs are one, certainly. Immigration is one. I mean, we saw him allow for sort of the H-1B, the high-skilled immigration visas. We saw him carve out exceptions for that, and that did spark an outcry, backlash among his supporters. So too, I think, is the tariff exemptions, but I think those are a little more abstract for most people, whereas people who voted for him on immigration, they see any abrogation of the hardline anti-immigration policies as really a violation of the promises that he made to them. But these are all examples of ways in which deep-pocketed special interests are able to get their way in Washington. And it is also notable that Trump ran, particularly the first time, a little bit less so the second time. First time, 2016, a little bit less so in 2024. The third time, on draining the swamp, on reducing the power of special interest lobbyists and major donors. And yet he is, again, probably among the more voracious second-term presidents, certainly maybe presidents ever, that I've seen in modern history. And I've been covering this stuff for 20-plus years as far as raising money and granting real special access to the people who give him the money and, at least paying lip service, if not actually doing what they ask.
Well, to go along with this, I mean, I don't think we have here talked about the ballroom that was built, and it was all apparently private donors, and there might have been some foreign entities that had contributed to that. And I know he wants to do something with the Kennedy Center, which he's closing for a couple of years, starting on July 4th. Do we have much insight as to who is contributing for that ballroom, and then what will happen with this new facility?
Yeah, I mean, we've done some reporting on the ballroom. I have showing who gave, and it's a similar dynamic where you have, deep-pocketed companies with very narrow interests that, again, are not necessarily the interest of the American people and of his voters, who are getting access to him by virtue of their donations to the Trust for the National Mall, which is the nonprofit group that is sort of overseeing and collecting money for the ballroom, and are getting, from his administration policy concessions that save them or make them, potentially billions of dollars. I'm thinking now about there's a company that does dialysis, and they were pushing for more Medicare reimbursement for at-home dialysis, and they gave $2.5 million to the ballroom, and they got in, and the administration appears to be taking steps in that direction, doing what the company wants on dialysis. There's another company, and maybe you can make the argument there that that's a good thing. There's another company that does what's called substitute skin. These are all medical companies, obviously. It's a type of sophisticated high-tech bandage that's commonly used to treat lingering wounds. Diabetics are folks who have these who are treated with this type of substitute skin. This company was opposing a Medicare change that would have reduced their reimbursements. This industry was making billions of dollars for Medicare reimbursement. So the company, and there was a move again that started in the Biden administration to reduce the reimbursements. The company gave a bunch of money to the Trump Super PAC, gave a bunch of money to the ballroom, and that the rule change that would have restricted their reimbursements is at least temporarily on hold. So these are all examples of companies that have very specific things that they're seeking from the Trump administration and are able to at least get the audience, if not that specific thing that they're asking, by virtue of giving a bunch of money to groups and projects favored by the president.
That is New York Times reporter Kenneth Vogel joining us today. We appreciate your time.
Hey, thank you. I enjoyed it.
Thank you. That story, again, is up on the New York Times. Ranj?
Well, it just seems like a really bad idea to eliminate the requirement to have a certain amount of people working in a nursing home. Again, if you've been in one, you know what an understaffed one looks like and how much chaos there is.
Yeah, and then it can
It's
be
crazy.
really, really bad. Right?
Yes, very bad.
When it is understaffed, and it gets to, whether medication or cleaning, and people do get sick and died. So that is one reason for
So much
that
neglect
rule.
that can happen.
Yeah, it's a big issue. Well, we've got one more go at it before the
another
Gas House
segment
gang.
before Chaim Bloom shows up?
I know.
Chaim Bloom,
He's
president
out of the gate, right?
Yeah, president of baseball operations, joins the Gas House gang right off the top of the show at 12 o'clock. We hope that you'll listen in. Brendan Donovan has been traded. Is that it for the Cardinals before spring training starts next week? Well, he's not going to tell us, but we can ask him anyway on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Soulard is going to the dogs. Make sure to bring your four-legged friend to the streets of Soulard for the 33rd annual Purina Pet Parade, the world's largest costume pet parade. It all starts at 12th and Allen, Sunday, February 8th at 1 p.m. And KMOX's own Dave Glover will be leading the pack as the parade's Grand Marshal. Sign up today to march in the parade with your dog. The event supports Open Door Animal Sanctuary. For more details, PurinaPetParade.com. Don't miss this annual St. Louis Mardi Gras tradition, sponsored by Purina.
Hey guys, Glover here for my friends at Universal Windows Direct. Hopefully after 25 years together, you trust me that I only represent good companies. Universal Windows Direct is great. They have a great deal for the DGS audience. Buy 2 windows, get 2 for free. 0% interest for 36 months so you can spread out your payments, same as cash. Also, $500 off your home improvement project. 314-334-2522 or visit universalwindowsdirect.com. Like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textingterms.us. Texting enrolls you for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message data rates may apply. Reply stop to opt out.
This is an important message for all parents of teens. If your teen or preteen is or has been addicted to social media sites such as Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, TikTok, or YouTube, and they have suffered from eating disorders, body image issues, anxiety, depression, or suicidal thoughts, you may be eligible to participate in a lawsuit for significant compensation. Disclosures by a Facebook whistleblower show Instagram and Facebook know their social media platforms were highly addictive and may have caused eating disorders, body image issues, depression, depression, and suicidal ideation. It appears these social media companies knew they had been causing serious harm to kids, but have done little to stop it. If your teen has been harmed by social media like Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, TikTok, or YouTube, then you could be eligible for significant compensation. If you'd like to discuss a lawsuit, text LEVEL to 323232. LEVEL to 323232. LEVEL to 323232.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson, Media Advertising Specialists, LLC, is responsible for the content of this ad with principal offices in Chicago, Illinois.
Big game, big screen, big energy at Ballpark Village, Sunday, February 8th. Enjoy the big game like you're in the end zone, featuring in-arena touchdown celebrations, fan cams, contest VIP packages, and more, hosted by RDJ and DJ Dex. Save up to $10 on tickets with code KMOX. Tickets and event details at stlballparkvillage.com/events. For more information, KMOX.com/events.
This is the story of the one. As an HVAC technician, he and his digital multimeter are in high demand. So when a noisy office HVAC turns out to be a failing blower motor, he doesn't break a sweat. With Grainger's easy-to-use website and product information, he selects the product he needs to keep everything humming right along. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Welcome back to Winter Hack Radio, the place for clever hacks to survive the season. Icy driveway? Well, try spreading sand or birdseed to help with traction. Snowy puppy paws? Well, grab a whisk, brush it off, done. Catch COVID-19? Well, just get...
Actually, there's no hack for COVID-19. But if you test positive, prescription medications for COVID exist. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
I'm Debbie Monterey, and I see more clearly thanks to the doctors at Ophthalmology Associates. Make your appointment today at 314-966-5000 or online at youridoc.com.
Do you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS like Mark?
I've been doing home remodeling for 30 plus years, but the economy crashed. I wound up losing my home, losing my job, and on top of that, owing the IRS a ton of money. I owed the IRS $114,000. It really, truly was the worst part of my life.
Then Mark found tax relief advocates.
On news radio, I heard about TRA, and I thought, what's the worst that could happen? So I picked up the phone and I called them. When it was all said and done, TRA settled my $114,000 debt for $100, and I'm telling you, I was ecstatic. Could not believe it. Would recommend TRA to anyone.
If you owe 10 or even hundreds of thousands of dollars to the IRS, don't lose hope. Do what Mark did and call TRA for a consultation.
But TRA did. They gave me a second chance, and I'm forever grateful.
Visit TRA.com or call 800-491-9914. 800-491-9914. That's 800-491-9914.
Taxes was waiting on the refund you needed yesterday.
All right, your car repair is going to run about $3,000.
Ugh. Now Taxes is getting back on the road with TurboTax and Credit Karma, where you can get your refund up to 5 days faster and get personalized guidance to take every dollar further. Now this is Taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. Deposit a federal refund into Credit Karma Money account and early submission of refund data by IRS required. Terms apply. Banking services provided by MVB Bank, Inc. Member FDIC. Credit Karma is not a bank.
Chris and Amy now. The Dave Glover Show at 1 on the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Text messages to 314-436-7900. And this message says, can you believe it's not 12 o'clock yet? Nah, it's almost 12 o'clock. Don't you worry.
Oh, that's so funny. I read it as, can you believe it's 12 o'clock? I missed the night. The not.
Yeah, I think they were insulting us, maybe.
No, I think he was excited about Chaim Bloom.
Who's coming up at 12:05.
It's almost time.
It is almost time for Bloom to join the show. Yes. You are correct. And we appreciate you.
Hey.
For texting in.
We have a 618.
Uh-huh.
I'm about to boycott this show.
Why?
With all the summer weather slander. I get it's not perfect, but believe it or not, all caps, some people prefer extreme humid heat to extreme dry cold.
Yes.
I agree.
I am aware of that.
Winter is not friendly to dry skin. I think this person's got dry skin. You ever think about them?
That's what it is.
You ever think about that guy?
Or girl? That's what lotion's for. Just put it on your hands and you're fine. Put it on your face.
Not enough lotion in the world for this kind of weather.
Oh, yes, there is.
I'm going through so much lotion.
You're going through so much lotion.
My hands are dry.
You're going to be all right.
Cracked.
You're going to be fine. I trust. Trust in the process. Amy.
What?
Did you hear what our producer said in the middle of the break?
We're doing this.
Yeah.
I know.
That's okay. Go ahead.
I mean, this guy.
This guy.
How did this even start?
Because I announced things that I shouldn't
Oh,
say
yeah,
out
yeah.
loud.
So Pajeski, Matt Pajeski likes to make an announcement that when the show is over, he's going to visit the executive. If you don't know what the executive is, that's the place where it's private time. It's your most private time. Well, your second most private time.
Well, and for people who don't know, the executive 2 is just a one-stall, one-room bathroom versus the general bathroom, which has multiple stalls.
And then it's like, why are you bringing this up? He's the only person who has to announce to us that
He's not the only one. I feel like most of the men in this building announce that they're going to the exetive.
In this room, too, I think.
I do not announce it. I just go. I go, and then
You announce it when you come
and then
back.
he thinks about... No, because you've been talking about it. You've been talking about it while I'm gone. What do you think he is? Oh, I know what he's doing.
It's been 25 minutes. Where has he been?
And then Pajeski's talking about like how he sees people. So if you ever meet Matt Pajeski, just know that this is what he's thinking about when he meets you. That he's thinking about the fact that under all those clothes, you're just completely naked.
I think it's weird. Like, okay, we are in an office building. You talk very professionally to people most of the time, but it's so weird when you walk out in the street, when you go to work. Everybody is naked under their clothes, and nobody really thinks about that. It's just so weird to think that like we're just separated from that just by like a shirt or a pair of pants, and sometimes that's just it. Like, it's so bizarre to think about everybody's naked.
Well, what's the alternative?
Being naked? I don't know.
Are you right. Why are you actively thinking about it?
I try not to.
And what did he already said? He said like people are under those clothes. They're dangling. I mean, it's just
Rude.
I think about it sometimes.
Really?
Sometimes with an older person.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh no.
What would that? Yeah.
I know what's going on here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Heim Bloom, 1205.
Yeah,
that's right. Heim Bloom. This is what he's in for. We're not going to ask him about this stuff. We're going to talk about the big trade that he
Heim,
made.
have you ever thought about this? Because Matt Pajeski does.
Yes, he does.
I bet he has.
It's all he thinks about.
Hey, we've got someone texting in from Salt Lake City. It's only 10:53 in SLC. Ask Bloom about taking over trades for the St. Louis Blues trade deadline. Okay, that's rude.
Well, trade deadline for the Blues just over a month away in the NHL. I'm sure they'll do something.
Well, they can't right now. They can't until after the Olympics.
Right,
Yeah.
right. So the Olympics have to happen, but it's going to be
March 6th.
I'm very curious to see what they end up doing.
I honest to goodness have no idea what they're going to do, but I do feel that you're going to see a move or two.
Well, you're going to get to hear what was behind this deal, how it came together as Brendan Donovan has been traded to the Mariners. A three-way deal. Cardinals, Mariners, and Rays were involved in. And we'll talk about what the Cardinals got back. That is with Heim Bloom, who joins the Gas House Gang in just a few minutes. If you missed anything on this show, Odyssey app, iHeart app, or wherever you get your podcasts. See you tomorrow at 9 o'clock. Chris and Amy on KMOX. Gas House Gang next.
Can you believe it's February?
Yes.
Time now for today's Spotlight on